morning, Zanzi. Welcome to yet another amazing time Konalago Vooka Breakfast Show. And guess what? We are gearing up to the Ren Show. If you're not there, then FOMO is gonna beat you like nobody's business. And to actually all of our winners, I'd like to say congratulations on winning tickets to the Ren Show. And most importantly, congratulations on being the first ever winners Konalago Vooka Breakfast Show on our first ever competition. You made us proud, and thank you very much for always tuning in and showing us your love. I go by the name of Berry, also known as Miss Berry Blaze, but to the darker the berry, the sweeter than Dun Dun. And obviously, I never travel alone. I'm here with my fellow sister, who goes by the name of T.
Thank you so much for that warm and wonderful welcome, Berry. My name is Tisiga Mazibugo Shabalala, your prime cut creative and your positivity dose of the day. Of course, you are tuned in live with the Vooka Breakfast Show, and we are geared up and ready for you to give you a dose of positivity and energy for the day. Without further ado, as you can see behind me, there is something called the picture of the day. But before we jump into that, I'm about to just ask my sister Berry how she is on this glorious, beautiful morning. How are you, Berry?
You know what? I'm doing fantastic. Can the rain show start already? In my head, I'm like, can the rain show start already? Because I want to see Amavuga Amahle Konala Payale a rain show having a conversation with us. And hopefully some of you guys would also allow us to interview on camera so that you can tell us about the amazing experience you've had with us on our breakfast show. But otherwise, I'm feeling awesome and fantastic. What about you, though?
I am amazing. I cannot wait, like you said, for the Rand Show to meet all our listeners and our viewers, and of course, everybody else who will be there for Joburg's best day out. And of course, like I said, it's the picture of the day, our favorite segment, for those bucket lists or those, for those travelers who want to explore our beautiful country. And of course, now, as you can see behind me, we have the Blyde, a slice of paradise in Pretoria. Located in Pretoria, the Blyde is a luxurious estate offering a unique tropical escape in the heart of Gauteng. With its crystal clear lagoon, beachfront atmosphere, and world-class amenities, it stands out as a premier destination for leisure and relaxation. Designed for both residents and visitors, the Blyde boasts a range of attractions, including a stunning crystal lagoon suitable for swimming, kayaking, and paddleboarding. I don't know about you, but I would be excited for that if I was an outdoor and sportsy person. There's also upscale apartments featuring modern interiors and scenic balconies, on-site restaurants and bars serving a variety of dishes for the lovely foodies who love a good dish. A wellness spa and sauna ideal for unwinding for our creatives who are mindful and everybody who likes to wind down and wants to, get in touch and connect to self. And then for those fitness buffins, there are fitness centers and sports facilities for those seeking activity. So, whether for a weekend getaway, a holiday retreat, or a day of fun, the Blyde offers an unparalleled experience. So, Berry, the Blyde has quickly become one of Pretoria's most remarkable destinations. With its breathtaking crystal lagoon, it offers an experience unlike any other in Gauteng.
You know what? Few places can actually replicate the charm of an island within a city, but the Blyde manages to do exactly that. The Blyde features kayaking. This beautiful lagoon actually features kayaking, paddle boarding, and a whole lot more that you can actually explore.
Wow, wow, wow. Beyond the water activities, the Blythe is designed for luxury living. So, from modern apartments to fine dining restaurants, every aspect of this estate is built for relaxation and enjoyment.
You also know that the dining options features a very variety of cuisines that somebody could certainly have, and thus makes every meal an amazing experience at the Blythe.
With so much to offer, whether adventure, relaxation, or just a change of scenery, the Blythe remains one of Pretoria's most sought after locations.
You know what? An escape from ordinary, the Blythe welcomes everybody with an unforgettable stay. This keeps the tone engaging while everything remains in a third person. Would you like everything that is very exceptional at the Blythe, guys? Because I think that the lagoon is very amazing. You would enjoy it. Who doesn't love paddleboarding? If you don't feel like going out into the wild and nature itself, you can just head over to the Blythe and enjoy yourself a nice day out and nice cuisine, paddleboarding, kayaking. What's more to say though?
Yes, every berry. It just sounds like just a luxurious day. I would love to go there just to pamper myself and treat myself. But of course, you can also tell us if you have engaged or been here on our picture of the day. That was the Blythe. Now, more on Vooka Breakfast Show. Everybody, tell us what's in store for our viewers and listeners today.
So, what's in store today is actually very amazing things, right? So, unfortunately, yesterday we kind of skipped out on the business segment, but we do have somebody who's going to be telling us about the world in entrepreneurship. And not forgetting that we also have movers and shakers. But today we have something extra special. We have two movers and shakers and many more that are still yet to come. I hope you guys are ready, and I hope you guys will be excited with the day that you're going to have with us. So, you know what? Sit down and catch the weather while we also give you some updates.
Keeping you informed and updated, let's head over to your sports news updates, starting with netball news. Cecilia Mulukwane contest for third Netball SA presidential term. SA Netball President Cecilia Molokwane, serving since 2017, confirmed her bid for a third term but plans to step down after 4 years to groom her successor. Under her leadership, the Spa Proteas achieved top World Cup finishes, including hosting the 2023 event in Cape Town. Her tenure has focused on expanding grassroots netball, including paid players and promoting black umpires from 13 to 29 internationally. Male netball and the Telkom Netball League have also grown. Molokwane aims to further professionalize the sport, emphasizing realistic progress and the importance of maintaining high standards for SA Netball's future. Now, in your new rugby news, Etzbeth Fassi and Lucanio return to Sharks squad for tour. The Hollywood Bet Sharks prepare for a crucial Vodacom URC tour, facing Edinburgh and Ulster, aiming for top 4 finish to secure home playoff advantage. Coach John Plumtree welcomes key players back, including Eben Etzbeth, returning from a 4-month injury layoff. Aphelele Fassi recovering from a Christmas injury, and Lucanio Their contributions in attack and defense will strengthen the squad. The Sharks need consecutive wins to maintain their lead over Munster, with the team regaining full strength as most positions are now filled by international players. The tour is pivotal for their playoff ambitions. Now, in your football news, Flick has Barcelona on cusp of Champions League semis 6 years on. Hansi Flick is set to guide Barcelona to the Champions League semi-finals, signifying the club's resurgence as contenders for Europe's top prize. This season marks a strong recovery post-Messi era, with Barcelona leading La Liga and reaching the Copa del Rey final. Despite struggles over the past decade, Flick's squad featuring Lamine Yamal, Rafinha, and Robert Lewandowski has achieved key wins, including a 4-0 victory against Dortmund in the first leg. Dortmund, currently in the 8th Bundesliga, faces a monumental challenge in the second leg. Flick's success could solidify his standing amongst Europe's elite coaches. That's all for now. Stay tuned for more sports and news updates throughout the show. Don't forget to share your thoughts on these headlines with us on social media using hashtag Vooka Breakfast Show, and send us your voice notes on 060-493-3226. Now for your traffic and then your weather update.
Hey family.
Hi.
My name is Tisiga Mazbugo Shabalala.
My name is Moketi Maimane.
My name is Musi Mist.
My name is Ketue Ketumguni
On the Vooka
Vooka Breakfast Show.
Every weekdays from 7 a.m.
to 10 a.m.
This is where we are going to have our topical discussion featuring various experts from different fields.
We're going to take care of you and it's going to be amazing, man. Right now I'm on the set of the Vooka Breakfast Show, brought to you by the Blink Network.
Do not forget to subscribe.
That's Vooka Breakfast Show on Facebook and all other social media platforms.
Vooka.
See you there.
Well, yeah, I should have lost many.
Wow.
My name is Musi Mist.
My name is Moketi Maimane.
Catch us every weekday morning, Monday to Friday, between 7 and 10.
Right here on the Vooka Breakfast Show, brought to you by the Blink Network.
Always bringing you the best content possible.
Vooka Nati, wake up with us and kickstart your day on a great note.
This is your energetic start to the day.
Keeping you safe on the roads, here is your current traffic update. There is a stationary vehicle on the N1 northbound at Linwood Road, affecting traffic on the on the off ramp from the Atterbury Road M11 West, with one lane closed out of 4. Expect delays in the area. A halted vehicle is causing delays on the N1 southbound at Flying Saucer Interchange, impacting traffic on the on-ramp to the R21 South N1 South, with the emergency lane closed. Expect congestion in the area. There is congestion on the N1 southbound between the Brockfontein interchange and the Olifantsfontein Road, affecting traffic on the off-ramp from Samrand Avenue M36. Now, on another traffic update, there is traffic that is backing up on the N1 northbound at Malibonge Drive, affecting movement on the off-ramp from the Malibonge Drive off of 512. There is a stationary vehicle on the N12 R24 eastbound at the ramps from the N3, affecting traffic with the emergency lane being closed. There has been a crash in Bedford View on the N3 northbound, affecting traffic on the off-ramp from the M2 west, with all lanes being closed. That's all from your Vooka traffic. If you happen to be on the road, do make sure to share your traffic update using hashtag Vooka Breakfast Show, or send your voice notes on 060-493-3226. Now let's head on to an epic morning show.
Spread your love and hear what I'm saying now. Spread your love and hear what I'm saying now. Spread your love spread your love and hear what I'm saying now. Spread your love and hear what I'm saying now. Spread your love 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 and hear what I'm saying now.
Welcome, everyone. Mavuga Amahle. It's a glorious and beautiful morning here in Soweto, in Dobsonville, where we are streaming to you live. And I welcome you. Of course, you're about to go into an energetic dose of the day. I am your host today, Tisiga Mazibugo Shabalala, your prime cut creative and your positivity dose of the day. And we have a jam-packed show for you. Of course, Vooka mornings are always beautiful and energetic mornings. And knowing that, you know that we have guests for you that are always relevant, able to give you what you need to start your day and imparting some of their knowledge and sharing insights and meaningful conversations right here on the show. Without any further ado, our first guest of the day, Pastor Dave Barber. Of course, we have a full house. He brought the whole squad. He is rolling squad deep today. Pastor Dave Barber, how are you? I'm great. I'm amazing. Of course, you're not rolling alone. Who is the gentleman next to you? How are you, sir? And your name is? Loiso, thank you. We welcome you on the Vooka Breakfast Show. Thank you so much for joining us. So, Pastor Dave Barber, a former policeman, drug addict, criminal, currently and for the last 16 years fighting addiction in SA and Johannesburg at Walking with Winners Men's Recovery Center. Amazing work. We know the scourge that has, captured our societies in South Africa. Most of our townships deal with this, with the Nyawube, ravaging our youth and, rendering them useless in a sense. I don't like using the word, but of course, I know that when mostly, you are unable to function properly in society, that, you start being termed as being, unable to contribute, and words like useless start being thrown around. So, Dave, tell me more about the work that you do at Walking with Winners Men's Recovery Center.
Look, I just want to first of all thank you guys for having us and giving us the platform to better expose this issue that is ravaging our entire nation. In terms of what you said, the reality is that, when you're on these types of stimulants and suppressants, drugs, you do render yourself as useless. Half the battle is to, bring people to a place of being contributors to society once again and functional within society, because immediately that you on these things, when they consume you to the level that they consume people, the only thing that is important in your life is really drugs, getting money for drugs, whatever means that you can, find to just, your whole focus is tunnel vision for the drugs. So in every other aspect of your life, you literally are useless. So what we endeavor to do, look, we all, except for Chris, he's the, if I can put it, the rose amongst the thorns. We all recovering addicts. I myself am a recovering drug addict. Got involved with drugs during the apartheid years when I was a policeman. I was sent to Hillbrow and, got involved there as part of the drug squad, and so things progressed. But what we try and do now is, I spent a total of 10 years just in rehab. I'm lying to you. I spent about 6.5 years in rehab, on and off over a period of 10 years. And, ultimately was a lost soul, had no direction in life, didn't know where I was going to go. And, at my worst point in 2008, I literally just prayed to God and I said to God, I need out of this, send me where you need me to be. As long as I'm not taking drugs, I don't care where you send me. And this is what has developed out of that, over the last 16 years. Walking with Winners has developed. And, we just get up in the morning, day to day, preach the word of God to the guys, run various recovery programs within the center, and try to bring people back to a spiritual equilibrium, and through a spiritual equilibrium, to a place of functionality once again within society. We've recently opened a sober living across the road. So Loyiso has been on and off.
Okay.
He's been with me. I think this is your second time that you've come back.
Third time.
And, he's also had quite a battle with substances. But, where I believe that he will make it is that he hasn't given up the fight. He goes out, he gives it his best shot. Things go pear-shaped for whatever reason, but then, he gets back involved in the fight for his life. And, that's the most important thing, is that the guy's got to be willing to fight. He's got to know that he has a problem, and he's got to be willing to take it on.
Wow, Loyiso, thank you so much for being willing to come onto the Vooka Breakfast Show with Dave to share a little bit on your journey, But yeah, just in your own words, can you share how the experience has been on this journey for you?
The journey, hey, it's been a long journey. It seems like it's been forever. It felt like forever when I was caught up in addiction. I've been addicted for the past 15 years on and off, and it's just been hell. I've put my family through hell. I've put myself through hell. I can't say I've had a disadvantaged upbringing. I've had a very good upbringing, though leaning on my own understanding has led me through a dark path in most times of my life. And the only way I could correct my wrongs was to submit spiritually. I've tried every other way, and I found that Pastor Dave's help and his ministry and center has, brought me back. So I choose to come back to his facility every time I wobble. So yeah, I've lost a lot. I've been blessed, and I've lost a lot as well. So I'm in the fight now again, and I'm just fighting it out.
So, Dave, going back to you. So you said former policeman. So being in the force, right? Having been stationed in Hillbrow, and I don't know what was the difference back then to how Hillbrow was, and how did that contribute to your journey into drugs? Being in the squad, being a policeman, dealing with what you're dealing with, and then of course then ending up dabbling in what you are basically stationed to fight against.
Yeah, look, in order to get a good perspective of it, we now obviously have to go back and go to the place where no one really wants to go, which is, go back to the times of apartheid. And
it's crucial, though. I mean, at the end of the day, for healing and for purposes of moving
100%.
on, it's necessary.
100%. So, a lot of people give me a lot of flack for some of the controversial things that I say, and it's one of the big reasons that I got into a lot of trouble in the South African police of the day.
Okay.
The first problem is that I was English speaking.
Okay.
So when we went to police college, you were immediately targeted because you were English speaking. Now, what a lot of, I think, black South Africans don't understand about the time is that, and we spoke about it in devotion yesterday, is that as much as there was slavery in terms of apartheid on the majority of South Africans, us as young South African white men were forced to go into conscription and go into the military. So, under threat of 5 years imprisonment if you didn't go. So I looked at the military, portion of it, and having been a person who was absolutely obsessed with American TV police shows as a child, I just wanted to be a policeman. So, I saw that as an avenue of dodging the army and going to the police, and arrived in the police, and only to find that it was exactly the same thing. But, during training and also through our school years, as I was coming through Soweto now again, I haven't been in Soweto, this side of Soweto, since I would say probably 1990, 1989. And, Soweto, for us as white people back then was, Soweto was where the black people stayed, and Soweto was where the crime was, and Soweto was, just everything bad. So, and growing up as a young white guy, black people were the people that lived over there. There was absolutely no idea of how black people lived back then. So the first time I came to Soweto as a policeman, I was pretty shocked, I must be honest with you. And I was shocked in a negative way, but I was also shocked in a positive way, in that what I found is that, yes, there was crime and all of those things that went on, but people are just people, But going back to the police, I'm the only guy I got told at the time that ever requested to go to Hillbrow. Hillbrow was considered a pariah, if I could say that, of the South African police. It was a place where cops got sent to be punished because it was such a high crime area and because of the cosmopolitan way that people lived there. And, in Hillbrow, what I found, there really wasn't such a thing as apartheid. We all lived together there. We had black people there, colored people there. We had Israeli people there. We had Arab people there. We had people from all over the world, Portuguese, Greek, and everybody just blended into this melting pot in Hillbrow. And we were instructed as well by our officers at the police station. Now, you've got to understand that there's certain leeways that we give people in Hillbrow that they don't get anywhere else in the country in terms of the apartheid laws and the we had that Immorality Act, where white and black people couldn't interact. And, but there we had clubs for all kinds of people. And I, unfortunately for me at that time, found myself, gravitating towards all the colored guys that hung around in Hillbrow.
Yes.
So, obviously that, I picked up a lot of flack for that. Eventually I had to move out of the barracks because of the headaches I was getting. And then, also, unfortunately, these colored guys all happen to be criminals and gangsters.
Sure. At the end of the day.
Yeah, but, my mindset was always at the time was to, infiltrate these syndicates and to try and, figure out exactly how they operate. But as I got deeper and deeper, because I was with the drug unit, I was with the Hillbrow crime unit, and our job was drugs and response to serious violent crime in progress. And as I got to know these guys better, I started going to their houses and I started hanging around with their families and I started seeing how they live. And, I just thought, I didn't like what I was seeing, and it just created more and more rebellion in me. And then, of course, the drugs got involved. I started smoking weed with the guys, and then it progressed to LSD, and then we were doing lines, and then it was crack. And then, as the drugs took hold, I got more and more involved in crime with these guys, and eventually, got caught and for a very serious offense, and was ultimately asked to leave the police. But and that's when the hell of the drugs really started, because then you're on the streets of Hillbrow. Yes. So I always say this to the guys, in South Africa, we've got a mindset, generally speaking now, I'm just generalizing now, that, the drug dealers are the Nigerians, right? So what I found is that's not 100% true. Okay. But in Hillbrow, they really exacerbated the issue. Back in the day, back in the day, if you wanted drugs, you needed to know someone who could go and find them for you and this guy and that. But when the Nigerian guys arrived, I met the first ever 4 Nigerian dealers that actually came into Hillbrow, and they moved into a place called the Sands Hotel. Oh, okay. And we started buying drugs from them, and we would buy the cocaine, and we would cook it into crack ourselves. And then they realized there was more profit to be made out of that, so they would pre-cook it for us, and it just rolled from there. And then the Sands Hotel, to me, it felt like almost overnight became completely a Nigerian building. And then the Mimosa Hotel was the next one, and then the Mountbatten the next one, and the Park Lane Hotel, and so it just grew and grew and grew. And then everybody used to come to Hillbrow to buy their drugs. And then the rave scene started. And then the ecstasy started coming. And that changed the whole scope of drug abuse in South Africa, is when drugs went mainstream through the rave scene.
Yes.
And it's just gotten progressively worse from then. When we started in 2009, 2010, and we were busy applying for registration with the government, I said to them, I said, you guys have got a big problem coming. And they were like, what are you talking about? And I said, well, you must understand that hardcore drug abuse, crack, meth, heroin, these types of drugs is generally speaking been a minority issue in South Africa, it hasn't really affected the black community as yet. Well, the black community had their problems with addiction, but it was mainly alcohol, marijuana, and, to a certain extent, mandrax, with the colored guys, living on the fringes of Soweto, like Eldorado Park, Raspberry, those places. But I said, when this stuff hits the black communities, you guys are going to have a major problem. And the response that I got at that time was, we'll never have that problem because the black communities won't tolerate it. And I said, well, you guys don't understand drugs. And, unfortunately, I've been proven right. And I'm going to make another prediction that if we don't get this problem in hand, I don't know if you guys can pull it up, but if you go onto YouTube and you look up Kensington Street, Philadelphia.
Okay, our producers will quickly pull that up for our viewers.
That's what we're heading towards, because that's the fentanyl xylazine epidemic. They call it TRANK. And we're already now receiving tests, drug tests that are positive for fentanyl. The drug test companies are already putting fentanyl on the drug test, which tells you that there's a problem, and we've already had guys coming up positive for it. So that means that it's here. So for people that don't understand, fentanyl is an opioid drug. It's the same as Nyalpe, all right, except it's 50 times stronger and half the price. And if you mix that with benzodiazepine, which they're using now, xylazine, which is a horse tranquilizer, benzodiazepine, they mix them together and they cook them. If you use those together, your chance of survival is very, very small, and your chance of recovery is even less. They call it the zombie drug. So, So if people are already involved with Nyalpe, and you can get fentanyl cheaper, and it does 50 times what Nyalpe can do, you can just imagine what we're headed towards.
It sounds terrible. I've heard of fentanyl in the US. The issue of opioids is a huge one. And the fact that obviously I'm somebody who has walked on the road of mental health, and, having now gone into, being prescribed medication for my mental health conditions, opioids, benzoids, those kind of things are included in your prescription for these, conditions. So now we are going to go into another, I think, issue that is quite overlooked. Why do you think legal drugs like prescription drugs are often overlooked as a cause of addiction? Because I know that on my journey, when we were looking at medications, my doctor was like, okay, due to the fact that I am more susceptible to addictive personality, things like benzoids and opioids are things that they cannot prescribe to me, because now, I might have, I might fall into being addicted to that, like your Xanaxes, your whatnots. So why do you think legal drugs are, like prescription drugs, are often overlooked as a cause of addiction?
Okay, how much time do you have?
I mean, we don't have much time, but you can
just touch on it.
You can touch on it and share your knowledge on this issue, because it is an issue, because it's also some of the things that are included in these manufactured drugs that you see on the roads, your Nyalpes and whatnot. They go and progress from prescription medication.
So this is how it happened in America. So what happened in America is they had a drug called Oxycontin, and it wasn't properly regulated, and people were opening businesses where they were called pill mills, where they would have doctors that would just write the prescriptions. The prescription would cost you, let's say, $100, and then with a prescription you'd get your Oxycontin. And then the government clamped down on the Oxycontin, but they created hundreds of thousands of Oxycontin addicts, who then found that heroin was not only cheaper, but it was more effective. And then it moved over to heroin, and now obviously that's expanded, and it's moved now into the fentanyl thing. So the grassroots problem was the Oxycontin. Now, what people don't understand, and I'm going to try and be as politically diplomatic as possible in the way that I say this. Okay. So I'm going to start this by saying we have very good doctors.
Yes.
Overall. All right. But then we have other doctors. Okay. And we got to understand that pharmaceutical drugs is a business. That's the first thing you need to understand from the get-go, is that people are manufacturing pharmaceutical drugs to sell them to make a profit. They're not interested in your welfare. They're not interested in what it does to you. They're not interested in the effects that it has on you. If you take a common antidepressant like Prozac, right? If anyone has Prozac, I challenge you. Okay, Prozac is prescribed for depression.
Yes.
Right. You take Prozac, you open up the Prozac, you take out the insert and go open it up and look under contraindications. What is the first thing that it says there? It says contraindications, depression, suicidal tendencies. So why are you prescribing a drug that your drug is prescribed for the thing that it might in fact create? It makes absolutely no sense. Then we have drugs like Dopaquil. I'm vehemently opposed to Dopaquil.
I was prescribed Dopaquil.
So our biggest issues we've had where people have tried to smuggle substances into our center where they've been caught, because the way that our system runs, it's virtually impossible to get it in. But every now and then there's a mouse who gets past the mousetrap. The biggest problem we have is not with guys trying to smuggle in hardcore street drugs. They try and smuggle in Dopaquil. And, we catch them with that. So Dopaquil is supposed to be an antidepressant, or a sleeping pill, which they're now prescribing as an antidepressant. So, the reality is that, what's the other one that they like to prescribe is that one that they use for people to stop smoking as well. So they've got an antidepressant that they're using now to treat people for cigarette addiction. Always remember this, that heroin, straight out heroin, was originally prescribed back in the early 20th century and late 19th century as a cure for alcoholism. So the reality is, our perspective is this, is that you cannot use drugs to medicate people who are on or get them off drugs. It makes no sense. So in terms of people that have mental issues, if you go and look at the way that they figure out your mental issue, if I say to you, right, how did they figure out what your problem was? How did they figure it out? Did you go for an MRI?
No.
Did you go for a blood test?
They did a lot of those, yes.
Okay, and what did they find in your blood?
Well, mostly I'm anemic, so I red blood cells, and yeah.
What's that got to do with your mental state? That's a physiological problem. Do you understand where I'm coming from?
Yes.
So I want to say this to you. This is the way we approach it, right? There are people, and we deal with them. And when we come across these people, we first thing we do is we get them off the illegal drugs. Then whatever's been prescribed by loads and loads of psychiatrists, we wean them off that through with a medical practitioner. Okay. Once we then have them off that for a period of weeks, then we can establish a baseline and we can say, right, we can see this is a problem. This guy's in psychosis. He appears to have bipolar issues, which I want to tell you, the bipolar issues is also just another marketing trick, in my view. There are people who have bipolar issues, but what they do is they want to prescribe you drugs. So the main thing is if you guys sit in front of a psychiatrist, the psychiatrist has got a book called the DSM-5 with a whole list of disorders for which there is a whole list of drugs that they can prescribe. Now, if you look at the original DSM, it was probably 40 pages. The DSM-5 now is, I think, almost 1,000 pages of all the new disorders that they've now somehow figured out that have come from I don't know where, that have been manufactured in people's minds and put into this book, because the pharmaceutical companies have got drugs to sell for every disease we can find. We can create a medicine.
Yeah.
You understand? So if you look at the American Psychiatric Association, they were the original psychiatric foundation. Psychiatry is a very new discipline. It's not even 50 or 60 years old. If you look at them, their manifesto states it is our intention to medicate every human being on the planet because everybody has got a mental disorder. And you can go look it up. You can pull it up. So, I'm not thumb sucking this stuff.
Yes.
This is actual stuff. So,
Yes.
prescription medication, people, to get back to your point, prescription medication people feel is acceptable because a guy that has studied for 6 or 7 years has told me that I need this pill, and so we take it because we trust that guy, But I trusted my dealer in Hillbrow. I mean, I trusted my dealer to the point where he would take the crack out of his mouth. I would take it from him and put it straight into my mouth. So, I mean, that's trust on a different level. I trusted that if he told me there was cocaine in the stuff. So the trust element is also there on the street. But because somebody has gone to university and is a professional and is telling you this is what is wrong with you, you accept that as gospel. And you take whatever they give you to take. I mean, I don't want to get into another controversy, but let's go into COVID quickly.
Okay.
And vaccines.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at what's now coming out, were we all duped? I don't know. I'm not making a judgment call yet. I don't know.
Yes.
But the signs are definitely looking
Yeah.
like it was a money-making scene, So you've got to be very careful. And if you really are struggling, I'm not saying don't ever take medication, but be very careful about what you take. And I would advise you to go and see at least 4 different doctors, psychiatrists. Let's say you're seeing a psychiatrist. Go see 4 different psychiatrists without any one of them knowing that you've seen a different psychiatrist, and see if you get the same diagnosis from all 4. And then make up your mind what is really wrong with you, or if there is in fact anything wrong with you. And then second of all, I want to make this claim that most of psychiatric disorders, I want to make 2 claims. First of all, it's amazing that it's generally speaking, people that are middle class and above that are depressed. Poor people don't seem to be depressed. They seem to be happier than the rest of us. All right. And the more money people have, the more depressed they seem to get.
Yeah, true. More money, more problems. You know what they say.
Well, I don't know. Poor people would say to you, money will solve all my problems.
Yes.
And what was the second point I want to make is I've lost my train of thought.
Sorry.
No, but no problem. But, yes, this is what I want to say. I believe that you can cure a lot, and I say the word cure, a lot of psychiatric problems with correct nutrition, exercise, and a hobby.
Correct nutrition, exercise, and a hobby. You can cure a lot, according to Pastor Dave. So you know what, guys? I hope you would not go anywhere. Stay tuned as we are about to go into this conversation. We are in conversation with Pastor Dave right here on the Vooka Breakfast Show. Let's go for a little break so you can go and, get yourself a glass of water, grab yourself a cup of coffee, and then come back and join us.
Well, yeah, Sugar Blossom maybe. Yes.
Wow.
Hey family,
Hi.
My name is Tisiga Mazbugo Shabalala.
My name is Moketi Maimane.
my name is Musi Miss
My name is Ketu Mguni
on the Vooka
Vooka Breakfast Show.
Every weekdays from 7 a.m.
to 10 a.m.
This is where we are going to have our topical discussion featuring various aspects from different fields.
We're going to take care of you and it's going to be amazing, man. Right now I'm on the set of the Vooka Breakfast Show brought to you by the Blink Network.
Do not forget to subscribe.
That's Vooka Breakfast Show on Facebook and all other social media platforms.
Vooka.
See you there. Welcome back, Mavuga Amahle. You are still with us here on the Vooka Breakfast Show. We are still in interview with Pastor Dave, who has, made space. I will allow the gentleman to introduce himself. How are you? You are joining us here on the Vooka Breakfast Show.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Chris, the social worker at Working with Winners.
Chris, the social workers at Walking with Winners Men's Recovery Center. So I would like you to please tell us a little bit about the work that you do at Walking with Winners Men's Recovery Center. What role do you particularly play at the center?
Okay, my role at the center is a counselor.
Okay.
Which I'm dealing with the people who are abusing the substance on a daily basis. Then the other part is involving the family members since they are affected. Remember, when you're taking drugs, it's not only an individual affected.
Yes.
The family is affected.
Yes.
The community is affected. So all in all, we are trying to rebuild the relationship with those that were affected, try to make amends with those that were affected during the time the individual was taking drugs.
So, what strategies do you use at Walking with Winners to help individuals recover from addiction to drugs?
Okay.
Yeah.
Remember, everyone has got their own problems of why they use drugs.
Okay.
You see. So since it's a Christian-based ministry, this is what we deal with. We've got many programs that we have. Like Pastor Dave said, we've got many programs that we deal with. The other part, the main problem that I'm dealing with is counseling individual every day. The other programs that we have, the Celebrate Recovery, which it's a main with the 12 steps, which I'll say is playing a main role in how a one supposed to recover on coming to the issue of the substances, where you deal with yourself. We deal with you doing a deep self introspection, where actually you can understand where did I go wrong. Then the other programs is just to help you with the skills, acquire certain knowledge on how do I resist the temptation that comes with drugs once I'm done with my recovery. So we use many methods. You talk about the few that I'll mention. It's actually the problem solving. How do you deal with the problems that comes, other than to use drugs as part of your defense mechanism to deal with what you are going through? You see, the other part, most of the people that came in who are using the substance, they fail to draw a boundary. They don't know when to say yes. They don't know when. So they are being influenced by many things.
Okay.
So in all those things, we still teach you and say, learn to say enough is enough, because if it's not you who's affected by the problem. Think about other people that are still looking after you. Think about the people that loves you and they still care about you. When you abuse the substance, it's not to say it's the end of everything, but find a better defense mechanism to deal with the problems that are coming with life, so that at least you can be functional within the society, you see. So we give you those skills, we give you those knowledge and say, go and implement and see you can have a better life without using the substances.
So for you now, the 12 steps, please, can you just tell our viewers, as somebody who has now actively experienced the 12 steps, what are the 12 steps to addiction recovery?
I can't tell you exactly.
Okay.
But I think the most important step for me was stepping out of denial.
Yes.
Yes.
Acceptance.
Which is the first step, right? When you can step out of denial and be honest with yourself, you see things from a different perspective, and you get to be selfless and understand what you've been doing. Because most of the time we find ourselves very selfish as addicts, because we do anything to feed this need of drugs. So denial, and then the second step that I that has worked for me and many other guys that I've been around is submitting to a higher power.
Okay.
Yes. So in all the 12 steps, those are my two main steps that I go with, that I use daily. So I always know that there's someone that knows more than me. I must submit to authority, submit to people that know more from me, and my spiritual health is what keeps me grounded. Because I believe, as Chris is saying, through all our challenges, we are confused most of the time because we don't have the proper guidelines on how to deal with issues. Everyone's going through issues in life.
Yes.
But how you deal with it and approach is most important. And your source of spirituality, whether you are spiritual, whether you're traditionalist, what keeps you grounded, what keeps you knowing that, okay, listen, I've got this, instead of running to the substances. Because I've been addicted to probably every substance that you can think of, from crack to heroin to alcohol. So spirituality and stepping out of denial is what the two steps that work for me. Thank you.
Spirituality and stepping out of denial. That is Lungelo's, way of, conquering addiction, and what he has taken, most importantly, away from his journey with walking with winners. Center. So now, just to wrap up, how can communities and families support individuals struggling with addiction?
I'll say this. Let us not be in denial of what is really, really happening. You can see now we've got men who are forever on the streets. Those people is not an issue of babatakatile.
Yes.
No. Let's start with what really, really, really happened, which is the issue of a substance abuse. So let's not take a long dry. Let's give them the proper help that they need, other than to go and consult Inyangas and the Sangomas and say, actually, we feel like our children have been possessed with this kind of a thing. So rather find a recovery center that will help the person. Let them start with the outpatient program. They can start with that. They can be admitted and in a rehab so that they can deal with the issue before it gets out of hands. Because of a minute the person is on the street, the society is affected.
Yes.
He's destroying the community. He's stealing from the community. He's destroying each and every thing so that he can feed his addiction. Before he puts into another system, which is you end up being arrested.
Yes.
for an issue of what? Stealing a small thing. But if it can be addressed at an early stage, you actually see at a primary level now, children are abusing substance. That we cannot deny. The issue of saying now marijuana is legalized, children are abusing it, but the family are saying it's legalized, the government says it's okay to take it. 3 years, 4 years to come, somebody is now the child that you said actually, because of the government said is legalized, then that person becomes a mental case. We talk about someone who can no longer see things in the real world. So let's take it from primary level to say, actually, when someone is in need of this kind of help, let's not avoid the issue. Let's take them to the right people who can help them.
Amazing stuff. Thank you so much, Chris. Now, for anybody who is listening and watching who would want to perhaps get more information, or come and visit you, or inquire about or anything that you or the services that you offer, where can they reach you guys on, and where are you guys available?
Well, I think first of all, you can check out the website at www.walkingwithwinners.
Yes.
No drugs.
Yes.
And you can contact Isabel Baba or Pastor Dave. Can I just get the number for you? I think he's got it.
Yes. Pastor Dave, do you have it?
Yeah, it's 079
079
0744
0744
117.
117. And then, of course, where you guys located? Didia. Okay, the center is located in Didia, so all that information will be available for you on the screen, and of course on our social media pages. There's also a book that we have here, Cracked and Restored, that is available. Where is this book available from?
From us, but these four for you guys.
Thank you so much. So the Vooka Breakfast Show has now received a copy of Oh my goodness, I'm trying to play like a sound for you guys. I can't even, like, that sucks. I was trying to play a young boo 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 for you guys, because thank you so much. You guys brought us a gift. You not only graced us with your presence, but you also gave us a gift, a book, Cracked and Restored. I cannot wait to delve into this, by Dave Barber. I guess if you are willing to, delve into the world of drugs and recovering from drugs, drugs will sell you a dream, but deliver you a nightmare is the caption here. A very powerful one. So this is a take from a policeman, a criminal, a drug addict, a pastor, Dave Barber, on his journey with drugs, recovering from drugs, and everything in between. I would love to say, as we've heard today, addiction isn't just about illegal substances. It can stem from the very medications and legal drugs we often overlook. Pastor Dave Barber has given us a powerful insight into the real dangers of prescription medications, alcohol, and over-the-counter substances, and how they can lead to addiction. So his journey from addiction to mentorship and recovery advocacy shows that transformation is possible, no matter how deep the struggle runs. The work being done at Walking with Winners Men's Recovery Center is a beacon of hope for those looking to reclaim their lives. If today's conversation resonated with you, or if you know someone who's struggling, reach out, educate yourself, and support recovery efforts, because the fight against addiction is one we all have a role in. Thank you, Pastor Dave Barber, for sharing your story and your mission. Any final thoughts for our viewers?
Yes, I have one final thought.
What is your final thought?
I want to ask a question to everyone that's watching or listening, and have a good look at it. Why is the addiction industry, the legal addiction industry, not contributing 1 cent to the people that its products are helping to destroy?
Wow, a deep, thought-provoking questions. Why are the legal entities that are not contributing towards relieving the addicts who are now victims of the very thing that they are selling? So that is a deep and thought-provoking question that you hear on our show. You can engage with us on all our social medias. It's hashtag Vooka Breakfast Show. Share your thoughts and opinion on the matter. But you know what? Stay tuned, because we still have more for you, because we have more guests in the studio that are coming up. Don't go anywhere. But you know what? There's a quick break we need to take so we can get you prepared for what's coming next. Here's a quick break.
Such amazing stuff that we bring you right here on the Vooka Breakfast Show on a day-to-day basis, brought to you by the Blinko Network. A second ago, just before the break, I was about to say but TC was in conversation with the one and only Dave Barber, someone who's been working in the space of addict recovery or drug addict recovery and substance abuse. And he's doing such amazing work in and around our community, saying that he's based in the township of Orange Farm. If memory serves well and if education serves well, this is in the south, man, if I'm not too sure. And he was just telling us off camera that we should actually make a day and come out there and spend some time with him and see all of the stuff that he does along with Abo Lungelo, right, TC? Such cool stuff, man. The struggle and the fight against drugs is an unending one, and we know that it's ravaged all our communities and is doing such crazy stuff. And for someone who like myself, who has a relative who has been struggling and ultimately lost their lives, it is not a good sight to see. So when I go ahead, look, man, if you've just tuned in and you've just joined us, you are absolutely right on time, right on schedule to catch your favorite audio and visual radio station right here on Vooka Breakfast Show, brought to you by the Blinko Network. I could not be happier to be in your presence and in your company this morning. You know that we bring you all great stuff on a day-to-day basis, Monday to Friday, every weekday, and today is no exception whatsoever. So what I want us to do is, let's connect and interact and communicate with each other using the hashtag of Vooka Breakfast Show across all our social media platforms, where you and I can share our thoughts and our opinions and everything else in between. You know that I always look forward to hearing from you. But of course, the interaction needs not end there. It can also jump over to WhatsApp, because starting last week, it's been a week now since we've been able to communicate on WhatsApp. And so I want to hear your voices. Send through those voice notes using the number 060-493-3226. That's 060-493-3226. Comment, like, subscribe, and do all the necessary things so that you and I can connect, interact, and communicate, and so that we can share we can have such a great energy exchange. The time right about now is 14 minutes past the hour, 8 o'clock on a Tuesday morning, the 15th of April 2025, and what it marks, because I'm so excited. When I walked in studio, I saw the one and only Maximum Temperature joining us in studio, man. He's still not feeling so great. He's still not at his best, but he's with us here in studio. And what it marks is that today is actually our 40th live stream morning show. So with that being said, this deserves hey, come on, man. Okay, no, I'll get it fixed. Don't worry. I'll get it fixed. Okay. But anyway, we are celebrating that today is our 40th stream, and I'm so happy for that one. Because 39, like I told TC yesterday, felt offish, man. It's an off number. But anyway, I'm going to go right now. We're about to be in conversation with the one and only Ulungile Zapi. And Ulungile is a music teacher. Very funny that as Dave was walking out of studio, he mentioned and he picked up that I myself am a musician. I'm like, yeah, man, that's what I'm absolutely going for with the look that I put out and the energies that I put out, man. And so I was so excited when I heard that a fellow musician is in studio and someone who's working out of Maurice Isaacson Music Center. It's a place that I've visited, I'll tell you, a couple of times. And I've actually had 1 or 2 performances there over the years. Yeah. The last one was about 2 years ago. And so she's going to be taking us through all the things that she's doing out there and the spaces that she's involved in, and how you and I can try and contribute and give back to the community of music in, or rather at the Maurice Isaacson. So with that being said, Lungile, how's it going?
It's going good.
It is it? Yeah, you seem a bit nervous. You can relax.
No, I'm
You're not.
No,
Okay, I see you.
I'm
I
all
see
right.
you. But of course, I'm not alone, and I'll never be alone. And one of the people who always be with me is the one and only Afri Perry Place. How's it going, Mama?
No, I'm doing fantastic. I'm just very amped up to get into the interview with Usus Lingile.
Yes.
So we can learn more about the music school that she actually runs, because you know what, music heals so many different things, and would like to hear more from you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with that being said, Lungile, let's get right into it. Who is Ulungile Zapi, and how do you eventually find yourself working in the space of music? Because we know that arts is not such a big career, right? For a lot of people, though, it's viewed as something. Man, do that on the side, man. Lungile, teach kids over the weekend, man. Go to some corporate office from Monday to Friday, and then over the weekend, uzofundisa abantwana. How do you eventually get to the place, and what inspired you to eventually, find yourself being someone who works with kids in the arts?
Well, my name is Lungile Zapi.
Yeah.
Born and bred in Soweto. I'm a girl from Mufula North.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. So I've always been working in the arts.
Okay.
I started off my career as a photographer, and that led me to do arts administration at Market Photo Workshop.
Oh, wow.
So from there, I moved on to the Back Factory. I was an arts administrator who focused mainly on the fundraising aspect side of things. And then, God willingly, I got another opportunity to go and live in France on a residency as a curator and a licensed manager for the gallery that I was working with.
Yes.
And then on my way back home, I found myself to be introduced. Actually, I was poached to come and work for the music school.
Oh, I
of
see.
Which I did not know about
I
it.
see.
So I was like, "What? There's a music school in Soweto?" They were like,
Soweto,
"Please come. We
yes.
need your assistance with fundraising." So
Yes.
I worked there as a center manager for a year, and then I transitioned to become the center director. That was in 2018.
Yes.
So I'm not a musician. I am an arts administrator,
okay.
but I work with a group of
A whole
music
lot of
educators.
music. I see.
Yeah,
I see.
Who,
I
who
see.
are musicians in their own right.
I see.
So yeah, I'm a bigger scope, or rather my portfolio at the center. The majority of my task is to fundraise and make sure that the center remains sustainable. And then is to ensure that governance is in place. I do a bit of human resources because I work with about 23 staff members on site. And then, just to make sure that there's employee wellness and then the center, functions.
Yeah.
And there's this nice atmosphere for the children. So what I love about the center is that it's a safe space for the children of White City and Soweto. Kids come to the center to learn how to creatively express themselves. And we've got other additional programs that we have on site. We offer pastoral care and psychosocial support. We used to have a gardening project where we taught kids about planting your own food, teaching them about self-sustainability. And then from time to time, we do host other visiting musicians who come and do concerts with us,
Yes.
workshops and master classes.
Yes.
So the center was built in 2009 and full operations started in 2011. And this is our 12th year.
Wow. I'll tell you, why I find it interesting is that I didn't even know that you guys even delve in the space of teaching these kids about, the basics, I guess, of farming and food sustainability and growing your own food and stuff like that. Because why I find it very interesting is that yesterday we were actually in conversation with someone who is so well versed and studied the science of soil, right? Soil conservation and aquaponics, which is a topic that I myself was not aware of. So I find that very interesting, from music to now teaching kids how to plant and grow their own food. That's too crazy for me. But the other thing is that you mentioned that the center does things like workshops and where you host other musicians and stuff like that. Like I mentioned a second ago or earlier when we started. I don't know if Panela can put it up there, but if 2 years ago you were there, we actually did a concert with Africa Rise at the center. Yeah. So that was very cool. And then the other one was way long ago, about 10 to 12 years ago, with the Soweto Theatre arts program, music program that they had there. So we had the concert there. So a very cool center. So not being a musician yourself, but finding yourself working in the space of arts and having spent time in France, like you mentioned, right? How do you put those worlds together, and how do you function, I guess, as a non-artist yourself, but working in such an artistic space and with kids as well? Because what I found is it's very hard impressing kids and getting them to learn these instruments and practice and stuff like that. So how do you function and you navigate that space essentially?
I think it has everything to do with my upbringing. My late father, was a huge music collector. So I think I grew up with, music always playing in the background. So me navigating that space, moving from the visual arts to music education, with some of the competencies and the capabilities that I have, which is, just to fundraise for arts projects. Was quite seamless. Obviously, I had to learn a lot about different types of instruments that are being orchestrated in the orchestra, and I had to learn about scales. And I had to, I
The
just
basics.
went in, the basics with an open mind.
Yeah.
And just being in the community of artists has always been my thing. So I think I didn't have any challenges per se. And right now, what we are actually thriving and want to see is to have a fully functional center in Soweto, because when I grew up here, Gugasi,
We didn't have that.
no, actually, I did.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
At Mofolo Arts Center, there was a dance program, there was a pottery studio, there was a photography studio when I grew up. And, those kind of things do not need any parents' intervention
Yes.
for us to get registered on those kind of
Yes.
things. Maybe I've always been an explorer. I don't know.
Yes, clearly.
Yeah. So, and what also inspired me to come and give back to the community where I grew up, it was, I often get discouraged when I see such centers such as Mufolo Arts Center going down
not
over
fully
the past
functioning.
years.
Yeah.
So my mission is to make sure that at least with this center that we have it open to the children of White City and the
Folo.
broader
And other surrounding areas, of course.
It must be functional. We must offer quality music education so that the kids, once they grow up, I know that, okay, cool, I've managed to raise about 100 children who are definitely going to contribute to the creative sector. And then once I get to the retirement stage, they're definitely going to be paying taxes. So I'm going to be getting my...
Yes, your money's worth. Yeah.
But I think one of the most moving things about being at the center is to seeing those kids grow up and the center being able to secure scholarships for them. Some of them have been able to go to the UK through our ACO program, who got a scholarship at the Birmingham Conservatoire.
Oh, wow.
Some of our alumni were able to go, rather get accepted in varsity because they had music. So our mission basically is to make sure that each and every learner leaves the center with level 5 or grade 5 to 6 of music theory, so that they could be accepted at tertiary level, should they want to pursue music.
Wow.
But then another success story is that music as a way of developing the cognitive side of a child's brain.
Yes.
And it's very much linked to maths.
Yes.
So a child that learns music quite very early is able to grasp whatever academic, education that they're doing in school, and they tend to excel very well. So we're in the process of actually marrying, or rather doing a measurement or a case study of how music
contributes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that, because there's a program called Buzz Kids, and they are edutainment, and it is ECD, early childhood development
program.
But they do it through the arts.
Yeah.
So it's early childhood development, where they infuse music, drama, and dance to teach all of these cognitive things that you talk about. Hand-eye coordination, and all of these things. Man, very, very, very interesting stuff. I don't know, Africa, anything on your side?
You know what? When you talked about your journey basically growing up, especially in Fulo, with the whole background of arts, it kind of reminded me of mine.
Yeah.
Because we used to have something similar to that at Bapediwol in Middlelands. So we were taught dancing, contemporary, modern, spotwa, amakwasa. That's what I grew up doing, and it's very unfortunate that it's not around at this given time. But I also noticed that on your biography that you also have a background in visual arts, music education, photography, community outreach, and social education. So I just wanted to know, how do you basically combine all of those amazing futures towards nurturing the young minds that you cater for at the center?
I think through my photographic skills, when I joined the center, I was able to document the kids, and I'm so blessed that even the type of teachers that we have, they are quite prominent musicians. I mean, I get to work with the likes of Braka Mahlangu, Denzel Whale, Yonela Mnana, Jack Leroy Jr., Daliwonga Changela.
Nice.
So yeah, I think we are in the area where we should be documenting. Now I'm linking my photography and my filming skills, right, with the current important musicians that are actually teaching the young ones. And then with documenting the young ones through film and music and recording, we're just documenting the little ones that are going to be stars tomorrow.
Yes.
So it's quite important that as a center, we become also a center of not only music, but of information, of research, a library, where people in the next coming 10 years, 15 years, they can say, hey, I've met Unjabulo Ngumalo. He used to study at that school. And now he's the most well-known South African bassist. I'm just making an example,
absolutely.
right? And they would know where to go. So for me, I just find it quite easily because music, photography, film, it just works together. It's just that I've been privileged enough to understand the business side of arts. So, and which is very much important because there aren't a lot of people who are quite specialized in fundraising. So, and just to add on that, we also have an outreach program where we work with 4 crèches and 2 primary schools where we offer early childhood development, music tuition. So the little ones from the age of 4 till 6, they sing nursery rhymes. And then by the time they turn 7, they join the center and pick up one instrument.
Oh, wow.
Be it a violin or a piano or a djembe or a drum kit that they want to do. And by then, they already have grasped the foundation. Through singing nursery rhymes on what is a semi-brief, what is a
I love that.
When you say,
I love that.
when you talk about that, I think I have a friend of mine that has worked with your center, Tiny Midise.
Okay.
She sings for a group called Abafaz Bengoma.
Okay.
So I've also seen the kind of work that she does with the group, and I think that's with the kids, especially when it comes to like developing young minds in the world of art, teaching them different things. And I think that is somebody basically that will be a jewel for the school.
Oh yeah,
that's something that I'll connect you with.
All right.
But so far, with all the success that the school has received, what more do you think needs to be done in and around the community so the community sees the greater beneficial side of letting their kids join the center and how much positive impact it'll have in their life?
I think we need more infrastructures like the center. We are currently on full capacity. We can't take most students in because our program is in high demand right now. So the center on its own has problems such as the infrastructure is not enough due to the amount of demand that we have. So for me, I feel quite strongly that as much as the government, the Department of Education is quite investing in other schools, like we need more infrastructure that are going to groom children, be it in arts or other certain skills, it's fine. But we need more of such centers. I think only our centers not making enough justice because we can only take a certain number of kids, and then others have to wait on the waiting list for like 2 or 3 years. So,
wow, do you guys have so much of a backlog that kids now have to wait like 2 years or 3 years?
We are in demand.
Look, man, you spoke about community outreach and stuff like that. How now? Let's say someone is listening and watching, and is a fellow musician like myself, or is someone who is in the art space like yourself, a photographer or a visual artist. I know there are a couple here in Kochabavu, White City, Kamole, combination. Yes, yes, someone like that. And wants to work with Ulungile, wants to contribute and help out and see how they can lend a helping hand. How do we do that? How do we get involved with the center?
Okay, so the center has an open door policy.
Okay.
Obviously, you can call or you can come and pop in anytime from Mondays till Saturdays. Saturdays we open earlier, but we close at 3. During the week, we're open from 10 till 5.
Okay.
So we've got a few programs. If you're a musician and you're an artist, you'd like to offer a workshop, we've got a program called Visiting Artist Workshop.
Oh.
Yes. So you can send in your proposal. You can send it at info@mecum.org.za. And then you can propose what kind of workshop that you would like to do. And then we'll tell you the age group of the kids that we have, depending on the workshop and how they could actually comprehend what the program that you'll be delivering, right? And just to get more insight. So yeah, the VAP, Visiting Artist Program, obviously will give you an honorarium fee. The center is a non-profit organization, so rely solely on donations and grants.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So that's for the musicians. And then we are quite open with people that want to participate on our events. We use our events as a fundraising campaigns.
Okay.
So if you want to come and perform, like right now, we've got the Africa Day festival coming up on the 24th of May.
Oh.
So yeah, they will be featuring lots of musicians and DJs such as Nikki B, Castro, Shamrock, just to mention a few. It's going to be a nice lineup, and all the proceeds that we will raise from the ticket sales will go back to contribute to the program that mainly the kids benefit from.
Yes.
And then we have a For Good page where now we are expanding and just calling out everyone here in South Africa to come and support us. The For Good page has different types of needs that we have. Just on top of my mind, we just expanded our African ensemble, which is djembe, makoyana, marimba. So we want to expand and have a full orchestra of African ensembles. Right?
Oh, wow.
So we've got a call out there. So if you have any other African instrument that you would like to donate,
to contribute, yes.
So please come and support us.
Yes.
Because we want to have a nice showcase on the 24th of May. And also just moving forward, there's also another annual event that we host in September, which is the Heritage Festival around September. And then, a few other needs as well. We have the
event that you have tomorrow again.
Oh, yes. And the event that we have tomorrow, that we have a Belgian male choir all the way from Belgium. They're coming. They're going to do choral exchange with our choir, which is being led by Miss Teresa Mbata.
Oh, wow.
So please, it's a free concert. Just come and enjoy. If you love choir, I think that's the best place to be at tomorrow.
We're here. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, from 2 p.m. and then I think we should wrap up around 4.
Wow. Such amazing stuff. Such amazing stuff. So tomorrow we're looking forward to the Belgium choir.
Yeah.
On the 24th of May, it is Africa Day. Any other events maybe later on in the year that we can look forward to?
Definitely. I think there's around the 24th of September, we've got Heritage in Vuselelo.
Okay.
Heritage Festival. So then on the usually first week of December, we have our grand year-end concert.
Very cool stuff. So someone wants to reach out to Ulungile, wants to work with you as center director. How do you reach you? Is there a WhatsApp number, an email, a website? On socials as well.
Okay, my email is lungile@mecum.org.za, and then our telephone number it's 087 131 1358.
One more time, please, for the number.
087 131 1358.
Okay, and socials, is there
socials? Yes, we are available on. We're still setting up our LinkedIn page.
I see.
But we're available on Instagram. We're very much quite active on our socials. Instagram, Facebook. You can just simply Google Morris Isaacson Center for Music, and then we'll come up there.
Very, very, very cool stuff. This is what we do on the Vooka Breakfast Show, bringing you people who are doing such amazing stuff in and around our communities. Ulungile Zapi, the director for Morris Isaacson Center for Music. I promise you, I've been there myself, and it never, ever, ever disappoints. So if you'd like to reach out to her, by all means, she's just shared all her information. Do that. If you're a musician yourself and you want to create a workshop of some sort, or a concert, or anything art related, related, do reach out to them. Go through to the Center for Music. Like she said that they have an open door policy, right? So absolutely do that, because we need to give back to the young ones, especially with regards to the space of art. So the industry of arts that is so looked down upon in our society, essentially, and they're taking it even a step further by including early childhood development, not just in teaching music and stuff like that. So I promise you, very, very amazing stuff right there. And we hope that we can have you back, Lungile, sometime, so that you can share even more with regards to what the center has to offer and some of the events, and touch base on how the concert went, and how the Africa Day would have gone. It would be very, very great to have you back. So with that being said, we've been talking for a while. Let you and I take a very quick break, grab a glass of water, a cup of coffee, because it's a bit nippy and a bit chilly outside, and you and I will see each other right after this. Let's pay our bills. Very cool stuff on this Tuesday morning on the 15th of April 2025, bringing you great and amazing content right here on the Vooka Breakfast Show, brought to you by the Blinko Network. Always loving your engagement. I actually haven't been checking if there's any interaction and communication from your guys' side. So let me quickly head on over to our YouTube page. But of course, you know that the interaction needs not end there on YouTube or on Facebook. We can also engage and keep on talking to each other using our WhatsApp line, 060-493-3226. So that's 060-493-3226. Comment, like, subscribe, and do the things that are necessary to be done so that you and I, and of course the rest of the team right here in studio, can interact and comment and share all our thoughts and our opinions and everything else in between. So already we have, Takalani Hector coming through saying, hashtag Vooka Breakfast Show, morning, guys. TK1990 saying, hashtag Vooka Breakfast Show, good morning. Zinzi Elizabeth, good morning. Hashtag Vooka Breakfast Show, hashtag Sivugile, by the grace of God. Very, very cool stuff, man. Refilo Rasakhanzo, hashtag Vooka Breakfast Show, hashtag Amavuga Amahle, hashtag Sivugile. Refilo Rasakhanzo coming back once more saying good morning. And then Ace Wang, we had them on Friday. Those guys that are doing amazing stuff in the space of fashion designing, saying, where is the event and venue? So I'm assuming we are asking with regards to the event that Ulungile was talking about. That's going to be taking place at the Morris Isaacson Center for Music. So, if you are aware and you are familiar, Kachabavu, Bomaketa, well known as or affectionately known as Mr. B, what's the place? Macheta, the place that you went to. Native Rebels. There we go. Thanks, Cats. Native Rebels, affectionately known as Native Rebels. Right, opposite it, you just take a left at Macheta Mole. At the entrance of Native Rebels, you go down the road, take a left. That's where the entrance for the Center for Music is. So, AC Wang, if you guys are referring to that, that's where the event will be taking place tomorrow for the Belgium Choir, and as well as on the 24th of May for their Africa Day celebration, where they would love and to have an array of African instruments that they can display there. And then Unalisong is saying, good morning, hashtag Vooka Breakfast Show. Sivugile currently in casualty with Zinzi Elizabeth while watching Vooka Breakfast Show. She is gonna be okay. At least before Rancho. Man, fingers crossed, man, that you guys are pulled through for that one, because we cannot not have you guys come through at the Rand show. So with that being said, as a ritual, as a tradition right here on the Vooka Breakfast Show, what we do is we bring you all things great and amazing and things that have occurred and taken place in history. But before we get to that, I'm not alone, like I always say, and I'm never going to be alone. Always with the gents, man. Black Maningi, TC, how's it going, guys?
Yeah, I'm doing good, man. It's just pains, no pain, no gain, man.
Yes.
Yeah, no pain, no gain. Otherwise, I'm doing very good.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. TC, talk to me.
I'm amazing. I'm right. I'm bright. I am alive. I am great. It's the Vooka Breakfast Show. Of course, my energy is going to be high. Vooga ni sivugile. Hi, guys.
Yeah. A very cool conversation you had there with Dave, man. You know, you guys were getting into amazing stuff. I'm trying to access the things here, but this is what we do on the Vooka Breakfast Show. Mr. B, you'll have to bear with me for that one. But there we go. Okay, there we go. No, we're cool. So, on things that have taken place and occurred in history, we always bring you amazing stuff. And today is no exception whatsoever. So today in history, guys, on this day, says here, Ray Kroc opened McDonald's franchise, creating the world's largest fast food chain. Very cool stuff. Very, very, very cool stuff.
McDonald's was open on the 15th of April.
It was created
Okay.
on the 15th. Yeah, Ray Kroc opened. You're right. No, opened.
Gotcha.
I deserve this one right now. I deserve that one. So Ray Kroc opened McDonald's franchise, creating the world's largest fast food chain. Kroc opened his first McDonald's franchise in Des Plaines, Illinois, in 1995. He focused on consistency, cleanliness, and quick service. His relentless drive and business savvy laid the foundation for McDonald's rapid expansion across America. Very, very cool stuff, man. Very, very cool stuff. I don't know. Is McDonald's your favorite, or have you jumped over to something else?
I know. I mean, Mickey D's is nice.
Is it still like the thing for you?
It still does the thing, but not so much. I don't know when last I had a McDonald's. Actually.
Yes.
Yeah. These days, lately, I really don't have much of junk food ish.
Yeah. Okay, I see you. No. I'll tell you, Kat. Please get this one very quickly. I'll tell you, I'm still like you say, Mickey D's, is still a cool one. But there's another brand that's also a favorite of mine.
Okay.
The Kings of Burgers.
Ah, yes.
Do you see what I did there?
I see.
Trying not to, I get it right. No. Yeah, the Kings of Burgers is a favorite of mine. But yeah, man, the other one I have here says MLB retires Jackie Robinson's number. MLB retires Jackie Robinson's number. On this day, April the 15th in 1997, MLB honors Jackie Robinson retiring number 42 for all teams. Robinson is revered in MLB and sporting history. for being the first black player in league history to break the color barrier by appearing in a game for the Dodgers in 1947. In his career, Robinson won a World Series and was an All-Star 6 times. And an all-star 6 times here. But anyway, now every year on the 15th of April since 2004, MLB holds Jackie Robinson Day. And since 2009, every player, manager, and coach has worn Robinson's number 42 for their game that day. Very, very cool stuff. Are you guys familiar with Jackie Robinson?
Baseball. Is it the baseball?
I think
Is it
it's
baseball?
the baseball or I don't know. Is the picture the cats?
It's baseball,
is
right?
it baseball? Yes. Are you familiar,
I'm not
Maning?
familiar, bro. I do rugby and soccer.
I
so,
remember you
bruh,
mentioned.
yeah.
I remember you mentioned, man. Gore anything out of your sphere of knowledge and things that you're not interested in.
We shall see.
Yes.
Yeah.
What about you, TC?
Like I said, I just know that he's a baseball player. That's about it. And of course, revered in American culture,
Yes.
baseball culture,
And the sporting culture in
and
general.
sporting culture
Yeah.
in general. So that's basically. I just know, your
Yes.
your general trivia information. That's me because when we play games here, I want to,
Oh, I see you.
I want to
you and I,
beat you,
Bella,
Musi. I want to
you and I
beat
are the
you.
ones who are always taking each other on when it comes to that.
Yeah.
And then, okay, moving right along. On this day, April 15th, in 1985, South Africa announces the repeal of discriminatory sex and marriage laws that previously prohibited relationships between whites and non-whites, marking a significant step towards dismantling apartheid era legal restrictions.
Yeah.
Very cool stuff, man. So on this day, I guess interracial couples were allowed to now freely come out and do what they need to do. Because you know why I find that interesting?
See Rachel and Sia.
Yeah. Well, one of the reasons we celebrate Freedom Day,
Yes.
the freedom to love who we want.
Yes. You know why it sparks interest for me?
Yes.
Trevor Noah, in one of his stand-ups and his
In his comedy specials,
yes, yeah, he the skits that he does, and he says that his mother used to drop him like a bag of.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because now he was a very light-skinned boy who looked very white at the time.
Yeah.
Right. And it was quite suspicious for a black lady to be walking in town with a white boy.
Yes.
So whenever the cops would come around,
Drop him like a hot potato. Like,
and
I don't know this one.
if
This ain't mine.
if it did happen that they would approach them and ask her, "Hore, why are you working with a white boy in this neighborhood?" She would pretend like she's the maid.
Yes.
And she's a caretaker of this little boy. So it's very crazy, man. Like I'm just trying to think of it and imagine it. How did it function? Like interracial relationships back then and stuff like that. Very interesting.
Wild,
man.
but love always
Yeah,
finds a way, man.
absolutely.
Ketum Tandayo.
Come on, it's a Tuesday. Come on. Tuesday must get look at some Tuesday. Tuesday. I like that. So today, as you would know, it is the 105th day of the year, and it would be the 106th if we were in a leap year, and it marks that there are 260 days remaining until the end of the year.
Yeah, come December, man. We can't.
You and Mo trying to get the year over.
Yes.
No, man.
The aim
Yes.
is to reach December.
Don't wish your life away. Live
No,
your
the
life.
aim is to reach December.
Don't wish it
We
away.
want December.
December for who?
For us.
Yes. No, more Lena was saying, "Hey, man, December figure
Guys,
when
the
is
way-
when is December arriving, man? You know, but yeah, there are 260 days left before the end of the year, and there are 36 weeks that remain. Very, very, very cool stuff. And so, with that being said, you know that we always try to give you people who are celebrating or should be celebrating. This is the one I'm going to use, Kat. That should be celebrating their birthdays today. And today is no exception whatsoever. So on this day in 1990, what? Kila 98 kan ding one, hey. Today is someone who's celebrating their birthday is Sexy Red.
Wow.
Sexy Red is was born on this day. Yeah, exactly the same reaction that I had. Yeah, who goes to Sexy Red here? I don't know if you have the same thing, cats there. But yeah, Sexy Red is celebrating her birthday
That's an
today.
R&B singer, right?
Yeah, she does quite a lot.
Yeah, I can tell.
Among
I
singing,
can
I don't know if it's R&B, but among singing, she does quite another a lot of things. Lincoln,
Okay,
the link in my bio. She, yeah. You know, I've seen that on TikTok, not on TikTok, on X.
Oh,
yeah. People have talked about her. You know, she's trended quite a few times. You know, I think in the last 2 years or so. So Sexy Red was born on this day. And an interesting fact about her is that she started rapping when her boyfriend cheated on her.
Yeah.
Men will lead you.
So Sexy Red, an American rapper and singer, songwriter, gained fame with her 2023 single, Pound Town. See what right? Featuring Tay Keith, followed by its remix with Nicki Minaj, marking her Billboard Hot 100 debut. Her subsequent hits, including Ski Yee and Get It Sexy, showcased her chart success and led to acclaimed mixtapes like Hood Hottest Princess and In Sexy We Trust. Hey guys. Guys, because technically my 1980 fall right, rounding it off to the nearest
thousand.
Yes, the nearest 10th. And then someone else who would be celebrating their birthday today is Leonardo da Vinci.
Man.
Leonardo da Vinci was born on this day, April the 15th in 1452, and passed on in 1519 on May the 2nd. He was born on April the 15th in 1452 and passed on the 2nd of May in 1519. An interesting fact about Leonardo da Vinci is that he was left-handed, but also used his right hand.
Ambidextrous.
Come on, man. I wish I was like that. I wish I could use... Because I'm a righty through and through. My leg, my hand, my eye. I can aim if I was like someone who, something like that. Like I'm very right-handed, man. So very interesting. Leonardo da Vinci, the high Renaissance polymath, is celebrated for his groundbreaking contributions across disciplines, including painting. So imagine painting using your left and then coming back. That's very cool, man. Science, engineering, and anatomy, renowned for masterpieces like the Mona Lisa and The Last Supper. His notebooks reflect a genius deeply invested in understanding the world. His innovative ideas, such as flying machines and civil engineering designs, were ahead of their time, though few were realized. A symbol of Renaissance humanism, Leonardo's legacy continues to inspire and influence art, culture, and science centuries after his passing. So someone who passed on in the 15th century to this day is still very influential, man, in across disciplines, across multiple disciplines, man. Very, very cool stuff. And then someone else who's celebrating their birthday is Cooper Barnes. I don't know who Cooper Barnes is. Are you familiar, TC? What movie Nyana have you heard?
Nope.
Music Nyana. Let me see if TC Cats can pull up the picture. I'm not recognizing. But anyway, Cooper Barnes was born on this day in 1979 and is turning 46 years old. An interesting fact about him is that he is known, or he's best known for his role as Captain Man in the hit show. Oh, Henry Danger. I know who Cooper Man is. Cooper Barnes. Gil Tamalele, man. Have you watched Henry Danger? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the father of the kids there. Yeah, man. Cooper Barnes, born in Sheffield, England, and raised in Michigan, is best known for his role as Captain Man on Nickelodeon's Henry Danger. He began his acting career in 2001 with the film Digging with Ernest. Oh, do you know that one? I'll be kicking your backside right now. And has guest starred on a series like Jesse, Kicking It, and Cold Case. A founding member of the sketch comedy Troop Flag Island. He has also appeared on Conan and starred in Defending Santa. Barnes voiced characters in Escape from Planet Earth and has been married to Liz Stewart since 2015. Very, 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 very cool stuff. And then the other birthday we have here is, I don't know if I'm going to pronounce that one correctly, and should be our last one, Jacques. I don't know who Jacques is. Jacques, hey Waban, not being mindful and being knowledgeable about pop culture. Born on this day in 1994, is turning 31 years old. Interesting fact about Jacques is that the king of R&B started singing at just the age of 9 years old and gained fame through YouTube covers before singing with Birdman's record label. His music radiates positive energy and uplifts listeners' spirits. Very, 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 very cool stuff, man. Are you knowledgeable? Jacques.
Yeah, Jacques.
Okay. Yeah, you not. No man. Anyway, Wanakoha, you would know that every morning or every weekday morning, we bring you interesting words that have very cool meanings because the English language is very varied, right? So with that being said, we try to bring you interesting words that are aimed at both you and I and the rest of the team right here in studio, improving our day-to-day spoken language and ultimately our vocabularies. And today is no exception whatsoever. And the word for today is.
You're gonna pronounce it so well.
No, man, today is easy, man. It's a very simple word. And most of us are familiar. So the word is whimsical.
Oh, yeah.
Being whimsical. Are you familiar, Maningi?
Yes.
The word whimsical. You're not. Okay, no, it's fine. This is the reason why we.
What
bring
does
you
it mean?
these
Whimsical.
words. Yes. How you spell this word is WHIMSICAL. That's WHIMSICAL, whimsical or whimsical, as they would say, or how other people would want to pronounce it.
So TC, how do you pronounce it when?
Whimsical.
Whimsical.
How? But
No, TC. Remember, we said what was the word? We said what on the other day? So TC.
Nefelibata.
No. Acquiesce. Acquiesce, yes, acquiesce. And they were saying acquiesce. So whimsical, the definition of whimsical is playfully quaint or fanciful, especially in an appealing and amusing way. The definition or the meaning of the word whimsical is playfully quaint or fanciful, especially in an appealing and amusing way. And then how you can use this word in a sentence is a whimsical sense of humor. A whimsical sense of humor. Very, very cool stuff. TC, because you're the one who's familiar with this
I don't
word.
have any sentence if you want
How
to
would
ask.
you how would you use this word in a sentence?
I try to always keep things light and whimsical.
Yes. You try to keep things light and whimsical.
Yeah, when things get intense.
Okay. Not taking yourself too
I
seriously.
diffuse, yes.
I see you.
Yeah.
I see you. So very cool stuff. Do engage with us. Comment down in our comment section using all other using the hashtag Vooka Breakfast Show across all our social media platforms. But of course, you can send through your WhatsApp voice notes using the number 060-493-3226. So that's 060-493-3226. Comment, like, subscribe, and do the things that are necessary to be done so that you and I, and of course the rest of the team, can connect, interact, and share all our thoughts and our opinions and everything else in between. So without any further ado, the time right about now is a minute before the hour 9 o'clock. And we're going to be taking it to the other side with Afri Berry. Who will be taking us through a very cool conversation that we have been looking forward to. So with that being said, without any further waste of time, let's try to get that out and see how Afriperi is doing. Afriperi, talk to me. Are you good?
Yes, I'm doing fantastic. I'm doing okay. Konamanja, I am sitting with Mr. Moloto, the spice maker, the person who makes everything nice and everything tasty in life. How are you doing, sir?
Right in you.
I'm doing fantastic. Welcome to Vooka Breakfast Show. I hope you're also feeling fantastic on this beautiful morning. So, do you mind telling us more, Wuti, who's Mr. Molote and Namapele Spices?
Mervyn Muloto, born and bred in Midlands Zone 5.
Takundo 5.
Takundo 5. So I'm the head of sales and marketing for Net Prospice Net, which is the holding company, and we're trading as Amapelepele Spices for Africa. And the name should summarize who we really are: a proudly South African spice company, fully employing South Africans, right? Mervyn Muloto, been within the FMCG space for the last 18 years. I've worked on various route to market strategies, people's management. I've worked on maximizing growth and developing brands within the main market space. And that's what this brand Amapelepele is all about: empowering local communities, playing our part in alleviating unemployment, just in a nutshell.
You know, one thing that I like the most is the fact that it's a proudly South African brand. And it is a company that employs South Africa. So it's for South Africa, by South Africa. And I also like the fact that you guys are also alleviating and fighting unemployment, which is one of the biggest problems that we have in South Africa. So what's the whole inspiration behind Amapelepele and even the name?
Well, this is a very inspiring family business, spanning over 17 years. And over the last 17 years or so, the company has only been trading in the KZN and Eastern Cape area. And the founder member of the company always wanted to empower those that were underprivileged. And that's why you will see we have quality products at very cost-effective prices. And that's why consumers buy directly from us, because we want the product to be authentic and still affordable. And the founder member, Mr. Fright, also believed in helping disadvantaged communities. That's why we also engage in various community projects wherever we trade. In Soweto, as an example, I'm part of the golfing community, where we take care of the golf caddies at Soweto Country Club, as an example. We also participate at the old age home in Diepkloof, Takalani Home for the Handicapped. And this aligns to what Mr. Fry's strategy of always thinking helping hand versus making profits.
That's nice. You know, one thing I also learned from what you just said is that so it has a golfing.
Yes.
I didn't even know about it.
So it has one of the best golf courses in the country. It has recently hosted also the Vusingobeni Sunshine Tour tournament just this past weekend. Very good condition, and from us with the golf club I belong to, as golfers, we also don't only want to enjoy ourselves, but where we can give a helping hand, we also do that. And of course, all of this through Amapelepele being one of the partners in empowering local caddies as well.
So, out of curiosity, how what exactly what impact or how did the golf tournament help shine light on Amapelepele as a company and as a company that's also out for supporting people in the community?
Yeah, golfers are really fun people to be around with. And golfers vary from prestige business people, local business owners, and as what we do, I mean, to alleviate what communities go through, it is important that from our side, it is not only through Amapelepele spices. It also involves clothing. It also involves sponsoring other potential young amateur golfers to pursue their golfing careers. And it's a collaboration of funding of such activities. And we continue to raise funds as well to empower those that are skilled and have the potential to do better.
Now that's very interesting, guys. I hope you had that perfectly because, Bati, for fellow young golfers that are out there and would like to grow their craft, If you don't know the place where to go to, just or don't worry, we have a golf club in Soweto by Sowetans for Sowetans. And you know what? It is also sponsored by a proudly local South African brand. So right now on this pamphlet that we have here, I noticed that you also deal with soups.
Yes.
Now, for me, I would have thought that Amapele Spices just deals with spices only. And then I'm shocked to find out, no, man, there's a whole lot more that I can get from Amapele. Can you please take us through the different ranges that you guys have and the different products that you offer?
Yeah, just also to clarify, Amapelepele traditionally Mokasi, we think it's hot, right? Our spices are not hot. We have a variety of spices that ranges from our popular spices, barbecue, steak and chops. That also continues to what you call our stock segment. I mean, varying from finely milled beef stock. You know, your traditional beef stock, you have to just grind it with your hands, get your hands dirty. So here we've milled all of that for you. You just be the artist in the kitchen, right?
So it's basically beef granules.
Correct, right? Okay. So we have the artist. You become the you make the art in the kitchen. I mean, different segments varying from spices, stock, popcorn spices, and all these vary in different sizes and packaging, right? We also have sizes that cater for local cooks on a daily basis, including restaurants. We have sizes ranging from 1 kg to your minimum size of 100 grams. And on our one of our cost-effective and popular spice product is cheap spice, right? Mokasi, on average, at least the locals have to have the chips at least once a week. A 200 gram of our cheap spice is at 17 rand, inclusive of that. You can do the comparisons with all the other popular spices around.
So for everybody who likes making a kota, or for every entity in Soweto that likes making a kota, they have the cheap spice for you. And I also see that you also have like the popcorn spices, right?
Yeah.
And I think that popcorn spices and making popcorns is one of the things that has also grown in Soweto as a whole. And then I felt like so many people could actually benefit from that. But then when you also take a look at the local industry itself, how do you actually market your business, market the spices in and around the community that you sell at? Because one thing it says that some people don't even know that there's such a company that actually sells those spices. So how do you market your spices in the community, and how do you even choose your demographic, so to speak?
Yeah. Thanks for the question. Very good question. It's important to use data to drive business decisions. That's the first thing we start. And it's also important to listen to your customers, because at the end of the day, my belief is our customers pay our salaries. That's a fact, right?
Mhm.
And based on the need and market trends, and which these continuously change, you need to be agile and resilient at all times. And how would segment our market, right? You have to understand the dynamics around a township market, right? This is not limited to township market, but we understand the dynamics of pricing. We understand the need for a quality product. And as we do that, you also understand, you also want quantities that can last you till the next payday if you are employed. And of course, we also understand the convenience of traveling to get the product. We have a delivery service where customers can place their orders, make an online payment if they wish to do so. On the same day, that delivery will be done. Alternatively, when you place an order, you're able to give us your address. We're able to come deliver where we have card options for you to pay. And in terms of brand awareness of what you do, with our current over 400 customers already in Soweto that are stocking our products, we offer brand activation. and the people that work at those activations are local people here in Soweto, where they might not know anything about spices, but we take it upon ourselves to train them and empower the knowledge within the spice industry.
Oh, that's very true because hey, we do everything. The only thing we know is that when So, what do you think makes the perfect? What do you think makes the perfect spice? Because let's be honest, there's so many different flavors of spices, but there's always going to be that one that steps out. What do you think? How do you think a person who's basically learning how to infuse spices when they are cooking, what advice would you give them in terms of discovering your perfect spice that gives you that great taste?
It goes back to my analogy earlier. You have the artist, and you need to do the art, right? And cooking, being in the kitchen, is a fun place to be. You need to be able to play around. Nowadays, you have digital media where, in our social media, as an example, in all the platforms, Amapele Spices for Africa, we also have recipes that we share for those that may not be artists in the kitchen. And through more practice, you learn to play around with the different spices that we have. And it's a personal preference, but you want to be that unique artist in the kitchen.
No, that's very interesting. So that means when you start sharing those recipes, I can come cook ne? And just taste the food.
Of course, of
And
course.
let everybody know what's amapele imnandi, irati, igrand.
Yeah, I mean, through our brand activations that we have on a weekly basis, we also have a tasting session where we have over 20 spices that we have. And on a day, we might be driving a certain spice product. For example, in Soweto, in addition to the cheap spice, we have what you call grill zonke. It is exactly that.
I was about to ask you because I'm seeing it here in the flyer and I'm like, you need grill zonke. What exactly is grill zonke?
It grills zonke. Bona, if we have limited time for you to prepare your meat and using multiple spices, that will naturally cost you an arm and a leg. You just grill zonke. Finely mixed, you can add in extra salt should that be the case. But you have a mixture of mixed herbs, parsley, our smoked paprika in it, and a combination of our in-house secret ingredients that we put on grill zonke. I mean, just this past week, we're out of stock on the product, and I had to push our factory to bring more stock to all the Sowetans.
Now I think that's by far the biggest aim to make sure that Yonkinto flies up and it flies off the shelves. So that's like very interesting. So would considering that Amapele Pele is so broad and makes so many things, I see here that you guys also have like an easy life segment.
Yeah.
Can you please also explain what exactly does the easy life segment entail and go more into detail about that?
So Easy Life again is exactly that, and you will see on how we place and communicate our products. It's in a simple language that any normal person on the street can understand. I mean, Easy Life will include our instant porridge. It takes less than 5 minutes for you to prepare. Our buttering Easy Life products as well. You know, it's Easy Life makes everything quicker, easy to prepare without cracking your head to be that unique artist, but you become that special artist the easy way.
Now, see, now I'm a lady who dies for gas.
Yeah.
And I see you have like a 3 cheese sauce. Can you
Yeah.
please explain that? Because me and Cas were like best of bombers.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the products that you see there, these are products that we've come about based on the reviews from our customers in our social media platforms, what products they would like for us to produce for them. And I mean, the 3 cheese sauce was one of the best that our loyal customers initiated for us to have.
Oh, that's amazing. So, how does one get in touch with Amapelepele Spices when they want to also grow their business and just add a different flavor instead of having Raja Waya Waya?
I don't like hearing my competitor products, but I have something even better for you here.
Yes.
On all our social media platforms, we are Amapelepele Spices for Africa. We have on our website amapelepele.co.za. For those that may be outside of Gauteng, anywhere in the country where you might not have reach of any of our stores, you are able to place your orders online, and we commit within 24 hours of you placing your order and payment being made, your order will be delivered.
Now that's amazing, guys. I hope you enjoyed the segment Konalano Bati Ama Pele Pele for life. If you just want a bit of spice in your life, be sure to get yourself an Ama Pele Pele product just to add a bit of spice in your life because nothing tastes better with a South African product. See you back now.
Thanks for the opportunity.
bringing you such amazing stuff. Just a second ago, before the break, and before we were giving you the weather, Afriberry was hanging out with Mervyn Moloto. Someone I don't know if I would be wrong or if he would correct me, but I would say someone who is a spice connoisseur. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Because we always have wine connoisseurs, all right? I would refer to him as a spice connoisseur. Something that is right here in the heart of Soweto. Okay, not in the heart, because the heart of Soweto is Top Sentin, right? next to Zondi Hills, just before you get to Provincial Kloof. But they are right there. Go Midlands, and if you want to reach out to them, I didn't hear Afriberry actually if she found the thing. She asked Obuti Moloto or Obuti Mervyn to give his socials and his contact details. But I'm sure if you look for TC has the thing there. Maningi, please borrow me.
So it's www.amapelepele.co.za.
Yes.
And the head office number is 031 705 4118. And you can also follow them on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. It's Amapelepele, Spices for Africa.
Yeah, very, very, very cool stuff. They offer an array of spices. I'm seeing here that they have tin fish curry, they have chicken curry. They also have a beef curry and mutton curry, amongst many others, I'm sure. Amapelepele, Spices for Africa.
These are recipes.
Oh, these are recipes.
So these are like recipe suggestions
like
that they're
curry.
giving you. That they're giving you on how you can incorporate their spices and other products into your cooking dishes for beef curry, mutton stew, tin fish curry, and chicken curry. So, of course, we cannot make these here, but I know they're at home. If you are looking to spice up your dishes, you can head over perhaps to the Amapelepele website and their social media platforms to check out these recipes and products, so you can, keta.
Yes.
Choose what you like.
Yeah,
because
choose your
it's
favorite
Tuesday
spice.
today.
Yeah, man. So this is the thing, Kat. I don't know if people can see it right there, but this is their menu for the different, for their different recipes that you can try out. As you can see there's the tin fish curry and the chicken curry there. They have the ingredients that you can use, right? And then there's also the beef curry and the mutton stew. An array of spices that we've been given there. Can you show them there quickly? Can I? Let me see one. There we go. The one that I have here is the beef stock. This is the beef stock.
Chips, and this one is for.
Yeah, man. You guys have other ones there, of course. Yeah, man. Very, very cool stuff.
Zonke and all. I mean, we'll take a nice picture, Bahlali, guys.
Yes.
We will take a nice, beautiful picture for you guys and put them on our social media page.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. So.
Show this one, yeah,
I just hope you can see it, man.
Did you see TC?
I just want you guys.
TC wants to see it on the screen.
Yeah, I want to see it.
So what they say there, I have it. There we go. Okay. So what, Mr. Moloto, I'm trying to pull it up very quickly for you.
Thanks to Mr. Moloto, man. The Moloto surname always come through for us,
There we go. Says
Mr. Moloto.
Oh, Ladgak.
See how whimsical is that?
I see. Okay, Maningi. And then he says here, dynamic and results-driven sales and marketing manager with 18 years of experience in the tobacco, spice, and finance industry, adapting. There we go. Adept at developing and implementing innovative sales strategies to drive revenue growth, expand market share, and strengthen brand positioning. Skilled in market research and a competitor analysis and customer relationship management to identify new businesses or new business opportunities and enhance customer satisfaction. This is what Amapele Spices for Africa says, then they have expertise that they have there on their bio. Very, very cool and amazing stuff that we bring you right here on the Vooka Breakfast Show, man. But moving right along, TC, I don't know if you have pulled it up right there, but I know that there's something that you want to talk about. But Kat, if you can help me quickly before we get to that, man. Our very own Zinzimli is not feeling well, like they mentioned on YouTube, and is in the hospital right now with her sisters, Uneliswa. And so we really hope that she has a speedy recovery. She sent a video through that I think we can quickly watch. I don't know how long it is, Cats, if you can pull it up very quickly. But let's take a quick one, because this is what we can do over our WhatsApp line using the number 060-493-3226. So that's 060-493-3226. Let me see here very quickly. Umbali coming through saying on YouTube, this is a very good morning team. Hashtag Sivugile, hashtag Vooka Breakfast Show. Mbali also coming back saying a speedy recovery to Mo. Come on, man. And then Spin City says Maurice Mack and Richard McDonald founded McDonald's. Ray bought them out. So he's commenting and giving feedback on the history, the today in history that we mentioned about McDonald's. So Ray bought them out. Fascinating.
Wow.
I didn't know that.
Okay.
And then Samami Kalani coming through saying hashtag Vooka Breakfast Show, hashtag Sivugile. Very, very cool stuff we're having there on our YouTube page. And so you can also leave through or comment down in our comment section using the hashtag Vooka Breakfast Show on Facebook, on YouTube, and across all our social or our other social media platforms. I think we are ready with that video coming through from Zinzimni. Let's take a look at that one very quickly. Hey. Hey. Man. I love it. Man, I love it. I love it.
To her, man.
I love it so much, man. I love the fact that she's still giving those hashtags, man. She's in the chair right there in the hospital. Saying that, did she say she sprung her ankle? Ne? Or something like that. Yeah, something like that. So we really hope and cross our fingers and pray that you feel better, Zinzi, man. And I love how they whisper behind behind the phone there. Hashtag. Man. I love the Mnui family, guys.
Yeah,
we
no,
need to
you
give a very huge shout out to the Mnui family, man. So you guys deserve that one right there quickly. Man, what did I do?
Definitely, she passed the vibe. Check here on the Vooka Breakfast Show.
Yeah.
You definitely passed the vibe check, and we wish you a speedy recovery. Really sorry about you missing today's show, but guess what? You are giving us the energy, you are giving us the vibes, because like I said, you just passed the vibe check with that video, because no matter where you are, no matter what situation you're in, the Vooka Breakfast Show is always there for you. Boo, 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 boo.
Speedy recovery to her.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
I don't like hospitals, man. Hey.
Me neither. Maningi, when last week in hospital?
I've never been to hospital. All my life, I've never been to hospital.
Lucky you are so lucky never to have gone to hospital, because like you said, that's not a nice place to be. But we are going to move into an interview soon now at 9:30. I think the time is 9:30. Yes, it is 9:30, and we are about to go into a interview with Unwabisa from Uzuko Solutions. I don't know if I'm saying the name Zuko. Okay, Mkosa on right here.
right?
Yes, the Kosa on my side right here. Correcting me with the pronunciation there. But we are going to go into an interview with Unwabisa from Zuko Solutions, and she is about to go and share some knowledge on some SME business compliance. So don't go anywhere. Stay tuned for that. And as we just take a 2-minute break, 2 seconds.
But before we go for that break,
okay.
so I'm being told that the video did not play on our stream. So I want to play this one, man. No, we need to play this one. So let me see if I can quickly get it for you. There we go. Okay. Cats, are we good?
Hi, Vooka Breakfast Show. This is me. I'm at the hospital. I can't listen to today's episode, but hoping for the best with our home at home because I think I fractured my ankle. So, yeah, I can't even walk. I was crawling for home yesterday, so, yeah. Send love. Hashtag Vooka Breakfast Show. Hashtag season 11. Hashtag When Show 2025.
Ah man, such cool and amazing stuff, man. The Mnui family guys always deserves cause they are always hanging out with us, and always engaging and communicating and interacting with us. I mean, this is what we really want and look forward to, right here on the Vooka Breakfast Show, where people come through and talk to us and share their lives with us, because we've become family essentially, right? And but man, we really wish for a very, very speedy recovery for her, and so that we can meet up with her and see her essentially manning a show, man. Yeah. The run show is still taking place from the 17th of April all the way to the 21st of April, and of course the Vooka Breakfast Show is going to be streaming live on Thursday. We're 2 days away. I can't wait. I'm excited. I can't wait.
On the 17th.
Yes, 17th. It starts on the 17th all the way to the 21st. So from Thursday till Monday. Yes. And we're going to be streaming live. We're going to be there in person, physically doing the things, bringing you great stuff, man. And it's going to be an amazing experience. I can't wait for that one. Like what TC said a second ago, we're going to be joined on a Zoom call with Usis Nwabisa, who's going to be taking us through all things financial education and financial literacy. Someone who is very passionate about the space of educating all of us, both you and I and everyone else in studio. And of course, you who is watching, from wherever you're tuned in from. We need to get to a point where we're financially savvy, right, Maningi? I'll tell you about a month or a little over a month ago, Beskuluma City, hey man, I'm an impulsive spender. He himself is also an impulsive spender. He had mentioned impulsive.
Oh, impulsive.
Yes,
okay,
impulsive
I thought you
spender.
said like, what is impulsive?
No,
Okay,
impulsive spender. Yeah, and
understand.
one of the things that he says he used to spend quite a lot of his money on is airtime. So buying airtime for him was quite a thing. Every now and again, 50 rand airtime. 60 rand airtime. Nami, I used to, I still am to quite a bit of an extent. Like, I'm one of those people who should never go into like garage, in my shop or must figure, because I promise you, I want to walk out with something. I don't know what it is. Yeah,
You
man.
always want to have something when you get out of the shop, yeah.
Something. So,
But what's wrong with that, man? I mean, you making yourself happy, right?
I mean, sure.
What's wrong with spending?
But impulsively. Now I get a budget. Now we're adults in the workforce, in the society, and we should be spending our money wisely and not just all willy-nilly. We are 10 and J, spice, you're 10, you're 10. You understand? So I see to une budget is let's say you have about 5,000 to spend a month. Right, it's from moving around. It's things like petrol, groceries, having fun, I guess. There's quite a number of things that we are responsible for as adults, especially Mana Bantuan and stuff like that. So impulsive spending is not something. I mean, none that we know of. None that we know of. We don't know. Maybe Mo has like a little nyalangwana nyana somewhere out there. But of course, let's take a very quick break. And then after that, we're going to be hanging out with Onwabisa, the founder and the owner of Zuklo Solutions. And she'll be taking us through that. But with that being said, let's pay our bills. And you and I will see each other right after this cool stuff.
Vooka, Msanti, we are here at the Rand Show. Now, if you would like to win 2 tickets for yourself and a loved one, be sure to tune into the Vooka Breakfast Show every weekday from Monday until Friday from the hours of 7 and 10 a.m. Yes, and you can definitely catch the Rain Show from the 17th until the 21st of April. And if you do want to stand a chance, be sure to tune in from the 7th and the 11th because that's when we'll be choosing our winners. Don't forget to also share those hashtags. It's hashtag what? Hashtag Vooka Breakfast Show. Hashtag Rand Show 2025. Now for me, Afriberry, also known as Miss Berry Blaze, the darker the berry, the sweeter than tuntun. And also me, TC Gashabalala Mazibugo, your time cut creative and your positivity dose of the day. Catch us live every Monday to Friday from 7 until 10 a.m. on the Vooka Breakfast Show.
Well, yeah, Sugar Blossom anyway. Yes. Wow.
Someday we will all be free. These are famous words that I personally heard first from the one and only why am I forgetting this lady? And she was just in
Aren't
my
we
mind.
free right now?
No, we're not.
Then what's
not
the point of
entirely.
celebrating the Freedom Day?
Because it is a
Okay, let's continue. Musi.
yes, let's continue because never fades. Someday we'll all be free. Welcome back. If you've just tuned in and literally just walked in, you're not too late. I'll tell you, you're not too late. But you have missed quite a lot that we have been bringing you right here on the Vooka Breakfast Show, brought to you by the Blink Network. Welcome back. You're still hanging out with us and tuning in, sitting with me, the one and only MWOCWE Mist. My name is Musi Mist, and I couldn't be happier to be in your presence and in your company. But of course, I am not alone and I'll never be alone. And I'm with the amazing team right here in studio. The one and only Black Money.
Yes,
sir. Yes, sir.
No, you didn't ask me how am I. So I was like, you know what? Let's just continue with the show.
No, but I did, right? You did. I would, guys, Mo, there's something
now
that's
I
happening
remember.
here in
Okay, you
studio.
know what?
Now on a daily basis, I'm being accused of not greeting people. Like, ganjani.
I'm sorry, Musi.
TK was like,
you
yeah,
did, but it's
Musi,
just
Vele,
that-
I didn't want to say anything because you didn't greet us. Like, why would I do that?
I'm sorry, Musi, I'm sorry.
Okay,
man,
Nick,
I'm sorry,
give me
man.
and give the
I
people.
go by the
'cause-
name Black Money, the peacemaker, the great messenger of all time. Masikhondla khonto nxeba lamadoda unsizwa zimdlula ngomsengo kepha ngamandla ziyambabaza mina ngihawule insizwa ngingedwa ngaginqa amabutho. Peace out.
Hey, come on,
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
Come on. Hey. Hey, very, very, very cool stuff. We're about to go into a conversation with Onwabisa Mabuto, the owner and the runner and the founder of Zuklo Solutions. And, she's someone who's quite well versed in the space of finances, financial education, and financial literacy. And she's going to be taking you and I and everyone else right here in studio through how you and I can improve and on handling our TC, don't worry, I've got you.
Okay.
I've got you.
Okay.
I'll never lead you astray.
Okay,
I won't lead
Musi,
you astray.
I mean,
I won't
personal
lead you
finance,
astray. I'm not
okay.
saying personal finance. Relax, TC, man. I'm the mist, my bro. I'm the mist.
Musi,
Every time and again, when you're in studio, they don't trust the mist that he's
No,
got this.
I really don't. I
Relax,
don't
man. I'll never lead you astray. When the mist is around, man, you know that you will be you'll be taken very good care of. So, Kat, I don't know if we're ready with Onwabisa right now. Onwabisa, I don't know if you can hear us where you are. How's it going?
Good morning, and thank you for having me on the show. I don't know if my
Let me see.
line.
Is Nobisa able to hear us? Nobisa, can you hear us on your side?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
She can. It looks like
Yeah, I think you can because you're nodding your head.
yes,
but I
and
think
then
it is
her
on
audio
you
is
to
not coming up.
unmute your mic, I think, on your side.
Or perhaps, yeah.
Is she unmuted? Okay, the technicals are telling me that she's unmuted. I see you nodding your head and waving right at us right there.
Can you hear me now?
Okay, let's quickly try to put your phone on landscape and then see if we can try and connect a bit better. So try turning your phone around and putting it on landscape. There we go. There we go. There we go. And then try to center it so that it's in the it's in the middle, because there we go. There we go. Okay, Kat, I'm not sure. Because she can hear us, but we can't hear her.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Okay.
Do you have sound coming out your side?
Let's quickly try. This is the beauty of live streaming.
Yeah. Please bear with
Good
us, it's Nobisa.
Okay.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. We have you. We have you. You can hear us. Can we hear you? Please say something very quickly so that we make sure that you can hear us.
Good morning, Banele and your team.
Hey, there we go.
thank you.
There we go. Try to center your camera a bit. I think move it to the left or something, or to the right. Or maybe you
thank
should move a bit.
Perfect.
There we go. Very cool
Is this
stuff.
it?
Yes, yes. It is. It is. Thank you so much, Nobisa, for taking the time to hang out with us this morning and essentially educate us and teach us and share knowledge and information that you have acquired over the years. Welcome.
Wow, that is like a mouthful. Thank you so much to you and your team and your audience and for this great opportunity. I have been looking forward to chatting with you guys. Where do I begin? My name is Nwabisa Mabuto, born and bred in Soweto. Spent most of my life at Protea North. And I've been running my practice for 3 years now. Previously was in the regulatory compliance environment, and before that I was in the medical field, still doing compliance, and then before that in the hospitality industry.
Very cool stuff. So I will tell you, you're in conversation, Konomanje, with Musi. So Wanele is actually our station manager. Yes, but don't worry, you're good. You're good. So my name is Musi, and I'm together. She says that she is a mother of 2 sons, a sister, a cousin, and a daughter of the Mabuto family and the Ndlovu clan. Her full name being Unwabisa Regina Mabuto. Her brand is Zuklo Solutions, established in Soweto and but also operating countrywide. She's a certified tax practitioner, a business accountant, and ethics officer, and a candidate financial planner. She has been self-employed for more than 3 years, and her clients range from the private security industry to legal practitioners and engineering and individuals. She assists her clients with their regulatory compliance requirements and works very closely with a black-owned brokering firm that specializes in savings and investments. Very, 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 very cool stuff. So, Mrs. Nobisa, for someone who is not aware of what the regulatory space is and what brokering is and all of the spaces that you're involved in, please take us through that very quickly, Nje, and just to try and inform someone who's watching and listening out there at home.
And what SME is, because I'm not familiar with the word. It's my first time hearing the word SME.
That is small, medium enterprises, businesses. That is, usually looking at your startups and your businesses that have been operating for a year or more, whose revenue is well below 10 million rand. So I'll start with explaining what the regulatory compliance space is. It's just a fancy word to say that you've got the papers that confirm that your business is duly registered in South Africa and complies to the laws that are relevant to its operational environment. And the one that everybody would know about is CIPC, where you register for your business so that it receives its what simple terms I like to call its birth certificate, a document that confirms the company name and the date that it was registered and who the owners and the directors of the business are. Then there's other spaces that deal with your labor relations requirements, and that would be your Department of Labor, and most people look at COIDA and UIF. Compensation Fund, COIDA, it's just an abbreviation for the Compensation Fund. And then you then get into various spaces depending on what type of business you are in. If you're in construction, you'd be looking at registering with the construction industry regulator. And then if you're in the private security industry, you'd be looking to register with the private security industry regulator as well. So as in, depending on what type of work you are offering, you would then register with those regulatory bodies.
I think the network might be, interrupting Unwabisa on
Hello?
his. Oh, there we go. There we go. We have you back. We lost you there for a second. Yes.
Okay, so I was saying that you would then register with the applicable or relevant regulatory body so that you can confirm to your customers that you are actually a professional and you know what you are doing in that space. So, and then that would include your tax as well, because many people do forget that there's taxes to be paid in South Africa. Yeah, I think I will stop there. Do you have any questions for me?
Yeah, I'll tell you, I do. I'm finding all of this very interesting because, you've said such a mouthful, and like Omaningi just said, that he himself was not aware of the term SME, right? And you've shared so much with us, and very very interesting stuff. So let's try to start here. You are the founder and owner of Zuklo Solutions, right? In establishing Uzuklo Solutions, what gap did you see you wanted to fill, right? And you, in terms of SMEs and the landscape of SMEs, what was the inspiration or the driver behind you establishing Zuklo Solutions and then trying to fill the gap in the space of SMEs?
Thank you for that question. So when I was growing up in Soweto, I noticed that a lot of families in Soweto would establish small businesses, what we call a maspaza shop, or other type of businesses. But then as soon as the founders of the business pass on, the business would not be sustained, or if it was, it would be sold to a different company. And I thought, well, this is for me a gap whereby we're seeing opportunities or job opportunities being taken out of the Soweto community. And I thought, well, with the knowledge that I have, it would be a great idea to capacitate, to teach my community about the available resources and assistance that is out there to help businesses sustain the legacy that has been created. I'd like to see more businesses like Mabonya, that it starts in one aspect and then eventually grows into a shopping mall. And there's so many ways to do that. And to top that off, the biggest markets in South Africa are in townships. It is township people who go all over the the country looking for goods and services that they require. But very rarely do we then bring those services back to Soweto. And with establishing Zuko Solutions, I then wanted to assist small businesses to scale up their businesses, to sustain their businesses, and ensure that people are able to create legacies for their families.
Very, very interesting stuff. I love the fact that you say you want, our small businesses, our spaza shops, because what we've seen with the community of black-owned spaza shops in our communities, in and around our communities and our environments, it has died out. I remember growing up as a young boy, almost every other spaza shop was black-owned. But when I got to my late teenage years now, the dynamic started shifting, and the industry of spaza shops started now migrating to foreign-owned national shops, right? So I love how you want to sustain and bring back that legacy essentially, and drive and essentially build the industry of black and take it back. Have it back in our own communities and have it in our own hands, man. I love that so much. But I know money also has something interesting.
Sis Novisa, a lot of small businesses, a lot of small business owners underestimate the importance of compliances. Ne? Can you please explain what non-compliance can mean for an SME and how Zutlo helps that? How can prevent that?
So non-compliance happens in different ways. And the first, and I think the major non-compliance that I have seen when I engage small businesses is failure to adhere to tax laws, right? So we African Revenue Services, where every business that is registered with the CIPC is automatically issued with an income tax number. And what this means is that as soon as you are registered, you have the obligation to submit tax returns to the South African Revenue Services, whether or not you're making money. You are allowed to submit nil returns to show SARS that though you have established your business, you have not started trading. And this means that you are complying. But the minute you fail to submit these returns, it means that you are a non-compliant business. So what does this mean? And I'll give a simple example looking at tenderpreneurs. Tenderpreneurs will have identified a tender that they want to bid for, and then they will run around last minute looking for all these documents that are listed in the tender bid. It is your tax clearance certificate, your registration, your company registration certificate, your certificate or letter of good standing from the Department of Labor, all these departments confirming that you have honored your obligation to submit the required documentation, paperwork, and paid over the funds that are due. And should you then fail to do this, then you are regarded as non-compliant. So you can be non-compliant from a tax perspective. You can be non-compliant from your company registration perspective because you have the obligation to submit a return to CIPC once a year to confirm that your business is still trading, or your business is registered but not yet trading, but you still have the intention to use it. That is when you submit your nil returns. Then you have the obligation with the Department of Labor, where you also need to confirm whether or not you have employees. And when you don't have employees, you simply submit your nil returns to say that you have not started trading. And once you start trading, you then have the obligation to submit your monthly returns to confirm to SARS that you are deducting whatever funds you need to deduct from your employees in order for them one day to have an opportunity to claim from the Department of Labor or the Unemployment Insurance Fund if that circumstance arises. And secondly, in the event that somebody is hurt in your workplace, then you are able to submit a claim to the compensation fund so that they can then assist in compensating the employee for the damage or incident that has happened.
Interesting, very interesting. I'll tell you. We're learning so much. Especially as young guys and girls, who are now parents ourselves, who are in the workforce. And some of us are business owners or want to eventually find ourselves starting our own businesses. This is the kind of information that I think is very essential, and I'm sure you would concur as well, right? And in that, I'm not trying to be controversial or anything, but a huge portion or quite a large portion of our black society is not knowledgeable and informed when it comes to things of this sort, right? And we found that this information and education and knowledge has always been, kept for an elite. Right, and when years ago, when the BEE came through, and black businesses started striving, we saw now a black elite being formed as well, and they themselves keeping this information to themselves and not sharing it with the ones who are down there on the ground doing the stuff that essentially promote all these other bigger businesses, man. So I love how you try to share this information. But there's a small business owner or a small puzzle shop owner out there somewhere, Soweto, in Zola or something, and is watching and is listening to all of this information. So what kind, the kind of support that you guys offer, what is the typical engagement with a client like that, a small puzzle shop owner in Soweto, somewhere in the East Rand, go Tembisa, or what is the engagement like with Zuko Solutions? Is there anything specific that I need to bring through? Do I need to learn something before I come and engage with you? What is how do you navigate that space?
Well, I think the most important thing is that you have a business, and that you have taken an intentional decision to scale up or to grow your business or to sustain your business. And you've seen opportunities in the markets that you would like to exploit. And therefore, then we start by doing an assessment of whether or not your business has been complying to the minimum requirements that it is supposed to be complying with. And that is firstly your tax, then your CIPC, and then lastly your Department of Labor. And if you are in a specific regulated industry, we then check with that industry if you have complied. And then where you have not complied, we would then sit and assist you in complying with the required standards or legislation. And if you have never registered with a regulator in the space that you're in, then we also assist you with that. And once that is done, there is now maintenance of the business. When a business starts making money, and I'll give an example of a school transport owner, once they start making enough money, that person wants to, they have goals, they have dreams. You want to buy property, whether it's for investment purposes or it's for residential purposes. If you're going to use your business to acquire those assets, the banks are going to require you to submit your compliance certificates confirming that you are a good citizen or your company is a good citizen. And added to that, then there would be a requirement for you to provide your annual financial statement, whether they are reviewed or audited, depending on the size of your business. And this documentation, then we also assist you to put it together. And then the very last leg, I think, is in now, once you have acquired the things you want to acquire, you want to create income for yourself for that period where you no longer have the physical strength to be able to operate your business, and you've handed it over to your children. And what do we mean by this? If you are an employed person, you would be saving, or your employer would be assisting to save for your retirement through a retirement fund or through a pension fund or provisional a provident fund, depending on what your employer is affiliated with. And as a private business owner, you then need to create those pockets for yourself. What happens when you are incapacitated? when you are sick and need to be hospitalized for a long period, what will happen to your income? What will happen to your business? How will you pay for your bills? Those are the type of conversations then we start having with the people that are our clients, because we want people to be able to live off their hard labor. That is all that we're basically assisting you with. And then you introduce your then descendants into the business so that they too can run the business and who knows, grow it into a multinational or global company one day.
Very, very cool stuff. I love, I can feel the passion coming from you. And, I think it would have been even more better to have you right here in studio with us physically, man. But I love all this information you're giving, because I'm sure everyone else who's listening and watching is learning so much, even people in studio here are nodding along with me, saying these are some of the things that we were not aware of, because we tend to think that, and we always hear that opening a business is so cheap, man. It's 100 and something. Quickly open a business and say you are the owner, and but we are not aware that there's so much more that comes into play behind owning a business, that for instance, what you just mentioned in terms of registering your descendants who can hopefully grow it into something even bigger than what you initially did it into, so very, very cool stuff. I know Umaning also has something else he wants to find out from you.
Yeah, I want us to talk about the personal information verification, right? Why is this so critical for businesses today, especially in the light of data protection laws?
So personal information verification is important. One, if you remember, in South Africa some time ago, South Africa was grey listed. And what that means is that there were transactions that were identified in South Africa to be potentially funding terrorist activities. And because we had not not all companies in South Africa had been verifying the data or the personal information that they are transacting with, it was difficult to prove that whether or not the statement was correct. And now South Africa, because we're part of a global player, has then taken a decision to comply with these requirements, to ensure that I know that if I say I'm trading with Banele, it is actually Banele that I'm trading with. It is not somebody who is pretending to be Banele, but a member of a terrorist group outside of South Africa. And if you look at all the conversations that are taking place around the world, if you do not know who you're trading with, how do you then prove that the money that you are trading with is not going to fund a terrorist activity that could potentially one day end up putting South Africa in trouble? So you need to know that Ubanele is actually Ubanele. It is not somebody else who has stolen Banele's identity and therefore using it to extract money from your business or from South Africa and channel it to another part of the world for illegal activity. Secondly, that the business is actually owned by Ubanele. So Vooka, let's say Vooka is owned by Anele, then Vooka is actually owned by Banele. It is not owned by somebody else, and Banele is simply taken hostage of the business. Sorry, Banele, I'm just using you as an example. I hope you will not be offended by my examples. So personal information verification is important to know and identify who you are dealing with. And secondly, to protect you and the people that you're transacting with, that they are the rightful owners of the information that they are receiving. And remember, the Protection of Information Act does require everybody, to businesses especially, to ensure that the information that they have on their system is the most relevant and correct and accurate information about the party they purport to be trading with.
Very interesting. Very, very interesting. These are some of the things that, like I said, we need to know, especially, and like I said, this is not me trying to be controversial or anything, but the truth of the matter is a huge large of our black society, a huge portion of our black society is not knowledgeable when it comes to things like these. Already we have a comment coming through on Facebook wanting to know that, and the person is saying the documentation needed when doing tax returns, when you have missed the deadline. Does Zuko Solutions help with that?
Sure. That question is ambiguous, but I'll try to answer it the best way I can. Remember, as a business owner or an individual, you are obligated to keep your documentation. And what is meant by documentation? Let's say you have been running your spaza shop selling bread to your community. The receipts that you get from your suppliers, people you buy your bread from, are supporting documents that are required. The payments that you make to the third parties, that is supporting documentation. Evidence that this is the person that you are dealing with, that you need to have in case there is a need or there is a dispute raised by SARS that no, this information is inaccurate or incorrect. So you have to maintain documentation, that is supporting the business that you are doing. Then your bank statements confirm the transactions that have taken place in your business if you run your transactions via your bank account, or cash receipts that you would have kept in your house or in your shop to confirm the transactions that have taken place. And you'd most probably then have to deposit the money into the bank account at some point. So that is the basic documentation that's required. But remember, in terms of the South African, of the tax legislation and regulations, you also need to confirm that you are the rightful owner or representative of the business that you are running. So SARS would have then given you, an opportunity to register yourself as the owner of your business. Failing which, you will not have access to your electronic filing profile at SARS because you have not yet confirmed who the owner of the business is. So all that information resides with you. What we do most of the time is help people collate that information and put it together in a manner that will make it easy for SARS to understand who the owner is, what the transactions were, whether or not the business made a profit, and whether or not the business owes SARS or SARS owes the business. There's various pieces of relief that are provided in tax legislation for small business owners to ensure that they do not drown in financial burden of the tax requirements. And we then help you to structure your transactions so that you can use those requirements for your benefit, for the sustainability of your business. Every business owner wants to make a profit and keep it for either saving or spending, depending on what your priorities are. And this is what we assist you with.
I hope Ace Wang has been answered because I think they are asking these questions, being a fashion house themselves. We had them here in the studio, so I think the question is aimed at trying to find out that as a business, as a fashion house, people who specialize in branded clothing and custom clothing, how can they stay ahead of all of these compliances that businesses have to adhere to, on a day-to-day basis as they run their businesses. So you've said such a mouthful. And quickly in closure, we are living in such a technologically influenced world now, and we see it from a young age, where from a early childhood development, now kids are being introduced to computerized way of thinking and figuring out and solving problems, right? As a business that has been there for less than 5 years now, I'm assuming, because it says here you've been self-employed for the past 3 years now, but you are someone who wears so many hats within the space of finances and the sub I guess, how would I put it? Sub careers that come within the financial space. How do you then, as Unwabisa and as Zutko Solutions, stay up to date with all of these advances that are taking place technologically? So to make sure that all your clients curve, and ensure that they or themselves as businesses and as individuals stay up to date.
Well, I think from my professional standing point of view, I am affiliated with the various professional bodies, as you have read earlier on, the South African Institute of Taxation, the Chartered Institute of Bookkeepers and Accountants, and the Ethics Institute of South Africa. So there's ongoing training that I have to ensure that I comply with on a yearly basis. But over and above that, as somebody who's interested in technology, I often equip myself with the latest developments around the world by doing short courses at various institutions inside and outside of South Africa. And with that information, I'm able to share then with my clients and help them run their businesses running the latest technology. Example is when we offer you bookkeeping or accounting services, we then ensure that your transactions are then automated. It makes it easier for us to be able to give you live information compared to delayed management accounts that could potentially have an impact on whether or not you're able to successfully transact, get credit facilities, acquire assets, and so forth. So there's electronic tools that we will register you with that will help you run and manage your business. Remember, there's the accounting side of your business, there's the human resource part of your business where some companies need to keep time track of their employees. And then there is also the, there's also stock take, where you buy stock and you want to know, especially when you want to know how much it actually costs you, as an example, for a fashion designer to produce a garment. You want to know how much you would have spent on your material, how much did you use to produce a particular garment, how many hours of labor was all of that, what electricity, water, utilities you have used, including rental if you're renting a space, so that you can come up with a cost model that at minimum, this is what you need to be pricing your goods or your garments, your outfits, so that you can sell them and either make a profit or just break even, depending on where, how long your business has been running.
Very interesting, Manning. We're learning.
Interesting. It's true when they say you're never too old to learn, you know.
Mm.
So, Sis Nobisa, I just want to know, in your view, what's the biggest misconception as SMEs have about compliances and regulations?
Firstly, I think people believe that it is a difficult, a difficult target to achieve. Please, everybody should be aware. In South Africa, most departments are now automating their activities. What this means, it is now easier to comply today than it was 10, 20 years ago, because everything can be done online. You can engage with SARS online. You can engage with the Department of Labor online. You can engage with the regulatory authorities online. So therefore, it's an easier act to perform. Some regulatory requirements are once off, others are on a monthly basis. And this we're looking if you've got employees and you need to pay over their taxes, which then is put together with your UIF. But most regulatory activity happens once a year, unless there is a national bargaining council for your employees where you need to contribute on a monthly basis for their retirement, for their medical insurance, and what else? Yes, and their professional membership fees. So it is easier today than it was many years ago. It is cheaper today than when it was many years ago. That time where people have to pay somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who can fast track something, it is quickly dying out in South Africa.
I love that. I love that. Trying to break all these misconceptions that we have. This you are sharing so much, and I feel like if we were in studio, we would be giving so much more information. But I love it, and hopefully, God willing, in the future, we can have you here in studio and share more. Because I'm sure that there's so much more that you would want to teach and educate everyone who's listening and watching when it comes to all financial education and financial literacy. Lastly, let's talk about Zutlo Solutions. 3 years in now, is there anything else that we're looking forward to? Is there anything else that someone who is looking to work with you and get your services? What can we look forward to? What is next for Zutlo Solutions?
I think the most exciting part about being in the space that I'm in, there's always an opportunity to grow. There's always collaboration with different people in different spaces. I think our next big thing now is property investment, with so many properties in townships, to deal and help people deal with that. When you drive around in Soweto and you see houses written not for sale, to those people, there is an alternative. And as a family, instead of fighting over those properties, there's different ways of dealing with it, such that everybody in the family benefits. So that property investment, property management space is something that Super Solutions is starting to invest in.
I love it. I love it. Very, very, very cool stuff. Sis Nobisa, thank you so much. We really appreciate you taking the time to educate us and teach us and shed so much light, in the space of, or rather with regards to the space of financial education and financial literacy. So very quickly, in closing, any advice that you can offer someone who's listening and watching and wants to find out more, firstly, about the space of finances, and secondly, about Zutlo Solutions?
Zuko Solutions has a website, www.zuklosolutions.com. You can contact us. You can find us on Instagram as well. And if you have any direct information that you require, you can email us directly. And my email address is nwabisa@zuklosolutions.com.
Nwabisa@zuklosolutions.com. You mentioned that on social media, you guys are Zutlo Solutions, right?
Everywhere you will find us at Zutlo Solutions. It is a registered trademark. No one else in South Africa owns this trademark. And therefore, if you just simply type Zutlo Solutions, our different aspects of the business should pop up.
And then is there a number that perhaps one can send a WhatsApp on or give a phone call to?
You can send us a WhatsApp on 071 210 9258.
Please repeat the number one more time.
071 210 9258.
Cool and amazing stuff and very educational, Manenge. I'm sure that you and I, and of course everyone else who's listening and watching, has learned so much from Usis Nwabisa Mabuto. Someone who has so much information and knowledge and has a career that spans for over 15 years, in things like tax practicing, business as a business accountant and ethics officer, and of course a candidate financial planner. She's someone who is amazing and great, and hopefully you who is listening and watching at home or from anywhere else you are tuned in from, you have learned so much and taken quite a lot of information for yourself and knowledge, of course, that you can move forward with and try to make better your business and of course your own personal finances, Manning. I don't know about you, man.
Yeah, man, I've learned a lot, man. I just want to say thank you, Sis Nwabisa. Thank you very much.
We appreciate and do enjoy the rest of your day, Sis Nwabisa.
Please enjoy your life.
You too. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Very cool stuff. Unwabisa is a passionate about helping clients from private security firms to individuals. She navigates regulatory compliance and builds brighter financial futures, partnering with a Black-owned brokering firm specializing in savings and investments. She works tirelessly to create impactful solutions. Very, very cool stuff that we do right here on the Vooka Breakfast Show, brought to you by the Blinko Network. Cats, feedback, my brother. That's happening. There we go. Cool stuff. Maningi, I don't know about you, man.
Today, Musiman was a very an educational day. We started
Yes.
by Mr. Barber.
Yes, it's David Barber.
Followed by Mr. Muloto.
Yes, Mervyn Muloto
Then,
with
Lungile,
Amapelepele.
Yeah, there
Yes.
was Lungile.
Yes.
Now it's Osis Nwabisa. Man, today was a very educational day. I just
Educational.
want to say thank you to all the people who provide us with the information, man.
Mm.
We're going to use that information. Yeah.
Absolutely. You can obviously catch all of these conversations we had on today's show on YouTube and Facebook, where we're streaming live right now. And we're going to take all of these conversations and post them for you on our YouTube page. Of course, you can interact with us, continue talking to us and communicating with us using the hashtag Vooka Breakfast Show across all our social media platforms. But of course, the conversation needs not end there. You can also interact with us on WhatsApp using the number 060-493-3226. So that's 060-493-3226. Share your comments, your thoughts and opinions, and everything else in between, so that you and I can try and get to know each other a whole lot better, because we have become family deep into our 40th live stream today. Come on, very, very, very cool stuff. Maninga, I don't know, in closure, is there anything that you want to get off your chest?
Nah, man, nothing much, man. I just want to say, people, please do enjoy your life. I go by the name Black Maninga, the Peacemaker, the great messenger of all time.
Yes,
Peace.
sir. The great messenger of all time. It's called the call. I mean, I love it, man. I want to go high. That was, what we were bringing you on this lovely Tuesday morning on the 15th of April, 2025. For the time right about now is 21 minutes past the hour, 10 o'clock. Of course, we will be streaming live from the Rand Show, starting from the 17th of April all the way to the 21st of April, taking place out there at the Nazareth Center. I can't wait to meet you out there. Want to go high. If you have a friend who's going, tell them that the Vooka Breakfast Show is going to be there, Maningi. And I'm excited for that one, man. We're 2 days away.
And we shall be worshiping God there on Friday.
Yes,
man.
absolutely.
Worshiping God
yes,
there on Friday.
yes, because it's going to be Good Friday. You're right, Maningi. Yeah.
Come to the Ren Show, guys.
Absolutely. You were hanging out with me, the one and only MWOCWE, Mr. My name is Musi, Mr. And I couldn't have been happier to have been in your presence and in your company. Let you and I and Maningi and of course the rest of the team see each other bright and early tomorrow morning, so that we can give you your daily dose of positivity that is accompanied by an energetic start to the day. This was the Vooka Breakfast Show, brought to you by the Blinko Network. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay hydrated, and stay cautious on those roads. Let you and I see each other tomorrow morning. Cool stuff.
Peace out.